out there still. This is actual feels like temperatures. So it is still warming up, but just feeling less when you step outdoors. Luckily, to make everything a little bit better, there's still a lot of sunshine outside as well. Take a look at the satellite right now. You can see there's not really many or any clouds in the area at this point in time, but if you look off to our west over the Dayton area, you can see there's some clouds there, and those are actually going to make their way here relatively shortly and kind of break up the party for sunnier conditions. So we will have some more clouds moving into your forecast soon, and I'll break that down in just a minute. But first, let's send it back over to the news desk with Stephen.
All right, thank you, Aaron. We'll talk to you in a few. We have some quick traffic updates. More lane restrictions are now in downtown Wheeling. 10th Street is restricted to only one eastbound lane. The right lanes will be closed through the 26th. Wheeling police are reminding travelers to stay alert of those changing road patterns with several areas under construction. Lieutenant Josh Sanders is asking drivers to be patient when driving through these construction zones. He says trying to take the easy way out can actually make matters worse.
I-70, 470, a lot of orange barrels out. We need folks to be patient. We need folks to follow the rules of the road. There's a reason we have all the signs out there that we have. Don't change lanes outside of the tunnel, or don't make any sudden movements outside of the tunnel. We get a lot of reports about people cutting through the tunnel and shortcutting and getting back on the interstate. That's a very dangerous, and that U-turn that you make once you get out of the tunnel to get back onto the highway is also a very dangerous maneuver to make, and it's an illegal one. And we've been trying to keep our eye on all of that kind of stuff.
Sanders says there has been an increase in crashes, and they really need drivers to be alert and, of course, stay off their phones. Although the holidays are still weeks away, it's never too early to start thinking about giving. The Ohio Valley Street Survivors Car Club has an easy way to help out kids this time of year. The club is holding its annual Christmas toy drive on this Thursday at House of the Carpenter. They're asking for donations for new and unwrapped toys. House of the Carpenter already has sign-ups for families this year. They need your help to make sure kids have presents under the tree.
Well, a lot of people think car clubs are just for members to have a good time, and we try to give back to the community. We've done the toy drive for years. We have donated to local charities for quite a few years now, and that's just part of what we do.
Again, their annual Christmas toy drive is this Thursday at House of the Carpenter on Wheeling Island. Ohio Valley Street Survivors will be there taking donations from 6 to 8. Should you need any ideas of what toys kids might want this year, we have a full list of that over on WTRF.com you can check out. Looking ahead to Friday, Youth Services System is hosting their 11th annual Wheeling Sleep Out. This year, it'll take place at the JB Chambers I-470 complex. However, people will still be able to take part virtually. Each year, the Sleep Out raises awareness about youth homelessness, as well as funds for the YSS Transitional Living Program. You can sign up to take part by visiting that website you see right there on your screen. If you've been thinking about joining the police force, this might be the time to apply. Wheeling PD is looking for probation officers. They even bumped up their incentives recently. They're now offering a $20,000 sign-on bonus if you're West Virginia law enforcement certified or if you're out of state and meet the state standards. That's not to mention the new police headquarters coming next year, along with an assigned vehicle program. Head over to wheelingwv.gov/policejobs and fill out an application. All right, do you know a veteran that you'd like to honor on Veterans Day? If so, we have a way where you can do just that. We're collecting photos of local veterans to be featured right here on 7 News next month. Just head to WTRF.com. You can click on the banner at the top of the homepage, and from there, you could submit your picture. All right, don't go anywhere because Aaron said the sunshine won't last. He has a full look at your forecast for the week coming up after the break.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling. More live and local programming than anyone else in the Ohio Valley. The Watchdog returns in moments.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I am the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your start to the work week. Look for clouds and sunshine, a daytime high in the lower 50s. You'll see the overnight low touching down to about 40 degrees under partly cloudy skies with clouds and sunshine mixing for your Tuesday, highs in the lower 50s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
People moving out, people moving in. Why? Because of the color of their skin. Run, 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 but you sure can't hide. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Vote for me and I'll set you free. Rap on, brother, rap on. Well, the only person talking about love, thine brother, is the preacher. And it seems nobody's interested in learning but the teacher. Segregation, determination, demonstration, integration, aggravation, humiliation, obligation to our nation. Oh, yeah. That's what the world is today. Hey. The sale of pills are at an all-time high. Young folks walking around with their heads in the sky. Cities aflame in the summertime.
Heads in the sky. Yeah, I've been there and done that. Also been up in the sky where there's no clouds or anything, sunshine. I'm going to enjoy today because from what I understand, and I don't believe half of the stuff that I hear and see about weatherman and meteorologists and these experts, it's supposed to get real cold later in the week. I'll take cold over snow, okay? But I'm going to enjoy today. And today is November 1st. Not a good day for firemen and policemen in a city like New York, where if you're not vaccinated, you're not going to be working. So already there's about 800 New York City policemen going to that state of Florida to work. They've been recruited with bonuses. And I would like to work in Florida. You don't have to pay taxes. But you might have to struggle with hurricanes. I shouldn't say that with some Pitt Panther fans listening. We'll talk about it in a few seconds. Tornadoes or whatever, you know. Too many old people driving real slow in Sarasota, Bradenton, West Palm. Been there, done that. Now that I'm old, I want to go down there and speed up all the time. Yeah. Can you imagine me on? No, I can't. My man is here, Wade. We're both a little bit disgusted because he thought his Dodgers would be in the World Series. I thought my Red Sox would be in the World Series, but both of them are playing a lot of golf, all right? I thought the World Series would end in Atlanta last night, but it's pretty hard, you know, to go ahead when you're ahead 3-1 to sweep, finish the series. And, you know, going into the game, Atlanta never lost a postseason game until last night. 9-5 was the final in favor of Houston. Now it's back to Texas for Game 6. If the Astros win, that will force a Game 7. And I'm sure that, you know, the Astros didn't want to see a celebration take place in Atlanta. By the way, that's a great ballpark. When I was working the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, Rams-Packers, I had a chance to take a tour of that place. And I remember the old Alameda County Fulton, or whatever it was, stadium. Then they built Turner Field. And after about 20 years, I guess the taxpayers need to come up with more change for this beautiful field. And it is beautiful. It is beautiful. Never saw a baseball game in the new Houston place, but I did see a lot of baseball and football at the Astrodome. Okay, at that time it was called the eighth wonder of the world. Now it's called the eighth white elephant of the world. That's all it is, just sitting there. You know, somebody ought to do something about it. You want to buy it? You want to buy it, Wade?
No, thank you.
I think you could buy the Astrodome. You just have a lot of liens you got to come up with.
Put a mini golf course inside.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. All right. A little shopping mall. And it's still located next to the brand new place. And there's also like a Kennywood near there too. Astro something. I don't know what it is. Houston's not a bad town. Many trips there, I've enjoyed it, you know. Would I want to live there? No. I'm comfortable in Western Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania, land of taxes, okay? I don't know if you've heard this of late, but there's a chance by Christmas gasoline could be anywhere from $4 to $4.50 a gallon. Gee, about a year ago, wasn't it what, 2 something, Wade? Where do you get your gas? In Ohio?
In Warwood.
Okay, what is it a gallon this morning or this past weekend?
Last time I checked, it was $3.15.
Okay. I filled her up today. I used my perks from Giant Eagle, and I still had to pay about $31. But I got about $79 off with my perks, fuel perks. And I looked up at the sign while I was pumping the gas, and it was going for $3.56 without perks, whatever. So whatever. You know, we're not going to be producing our natural gas. I don't know. I know Putin is very happy because, you know, we got to get oil from him. We got to get oil from Iran, Iraq. And you know they're going to stick it to old folks and young folks in America. Should have been a billionaire. Now I have more problems. I'm just happy to pay my bills. Just like you, right, Wade? Just pay the bills.
Well, you know,
And golf a little bit.
electric cars aren't going to be a solution because you have to have power plants going to
Yeah.
supply the electric.
Now, when you go up to an electric station, do you have to put a credit card? Do you have to pay for that electricity?
I haven't seen one around here, but I
Yeah.
imagine you would.
Yeah, that could be very, yeah, whatever.
Just like buying gas, only it's electric.
Yeah, well, whatever. We already have electric cars. My police department in East Washington has one. I'm supposed to check it out real soon. You know, what if a chip or something goes bad? I don't know, it's a computer, whatever. Trucks now are going to be driverless. That ought to be exciting coming down Cabela Road. If anybody knows of any electric stations around, let me know. Not that I'm going to buy an electric car, okay? I still like the gas guzzlers, you know, the old-fashioned ones that you don't have to push a button or put your foot on the brake and push a button and all kinds of electric gadgets, a TV screen on your dash. No. Give me the police car that I drive or the old Mercedes that I drive. It's real simple, you know, but nothing's simple anymore. Went to the grocery store at halftime yesterday, halftime of the Cleveland Browns Steeler game, and I just shake my head. I had 3 bags, 3 plastic bags, okay, $90. And I really didn't buy anything expensive like beef or anything. Yeah, right around the corner, Thanksgiving. Do your Christmas shopping today, by the way. Only had a few trick-or-treaters. But you know what I want to delve into? And I would tell him to his face right here, because if he gave me any crap, I would say, Wade, take care of my light work. Mr. Garrity, okay? Wasn't that his name, number 95? Isn't that his name? Yeah,
I think it is.
the Cleveland Browns guy.
Yeah, he should be in jail.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you after we take a break. Wade, let's take a break, and we'll be right back with my Cleveland Brown. He's supposed to be the best defensive player in the league. A lot of times yesterday, I saw him sitting on the bench going, while the defense is on the field. But that's not what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the way he looked before the game. All right? We'll be right back.
This is Hoppy Kercheval. Join me weekdays at 10 o'clock right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe for Talk Line. I have guests, conversations, texts, phone calls on all the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. So tune in weekdays right here on FM 98.1 and FM 97.7, The Watchdog.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I love living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I love living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
Sports Map Radio is on all night long. Tune in to get up-to-the-minute sports coverage on FM 98.1, AM 1600. We are the Watchdog.
Barley corn, nicotine, and the temptations of Eve. No parking by the sewer sign, hot dogs or razor broke, water dripping up the spout, but I don't care, let it all hang out. Hanging from a pine tree by my knees, sunshine through the shade, nobody knows what it's all about. It's too much, man, let it all hang out. Saw a man walking upside down, my TV's on the blink, made Galileo look like a Boy Scout. Sorry about that, let it all hang out.
Great song from the Hombres, late 60s. Okay, before we get to Mr. Garrett, here is your top, well, we'll do the top 5, make a top 6 because Ohio State is at number 6, and then we'll go through the list. Georgia, number 1, not surprised, are you? They're 8-0. Cincinnati, what a great story that is. Cincinnati for years, they sucked. Now they're 8-0. They've been pretty good for the last couple of years. Of course, you know, Alabama, even after that loss a few weeks ago, they're still going to be in the hunt for a playoff spot. They are 7-1. They're in 3rd place. Oklahoma at 9-0 in 4th place. They play at Baylor. That could be a trap game. Michigan State that beat Lola's Michigan. That's why Lola's not here. She went absolutely mindless because her Michigan team lost to Michigan State. So I think she's at the psychiatric ward in Wheeling. Okay. No, she isn't. She just took the day off. But I'm sure she was upset. Michigan State, with that win over Michigan, now number 5 at 8-0. Who do they play next? Purdue. That could be a trap game. That's at Purdue. The Buckeyes, with their win over Penn State, 7-1 are in 6th place. And where are they? At Nebraska. That could be a tough one. Then Oregon, the team that handed Ohio State their first loss way, way back, is at number 7. Biff Leonard's Notre Dame Fighting Irish at 7-1. Should have they probably will sink Navy. All right? Now Lola's Michigan team. And where did I go wrong here? Okay. Michigan is at number 9. They are 7-1. They play Indiana at home. Okay? I think if Michigan doesn't beat Ohio State, which they haven't done since Mr. Harbaugh was there, it's time to think about replacing Mr. Harbaugh. But the one thing that not so gentle Jim brings to the table, he's a pretty good recruiter. Can't win the big games at times, and he can't beat Ohio State. Wake Forest, maybe the best team in the ACC, at number 10. They are 8-0. They will play North Carolina and North Carolina. That's a pretty good matchup. Let's see. Oh, that team in my backyard. Did I call it a few weeks ago when everybody got excited how they were winning and everything, you know, that they were good. They were not. Everybody in Pittsburgh's thinking they're going to run the table. Well, they're not going to, because Miami, what was that, 14-point underdog, beat Pitt. Pitt got beat by a freshman quarterback who had better numbers than the Pitt quarterback, who people think should be a Heisman Trophy winner. I think he'll be a candidate. I don't know if he will win. So guess what? With that loss, Pitt drops from 17 to out of sight. They're not even in top 25. But they did get a couple of votes, so I guess they're still like a top 30 team or whatever. But they're with at 6-2 with North Carolina State at 6-2, Wisconsin at 5-3, Mississippi State with a good quarterback at 5-3, Arkansas, and those teams. I don't think Pitt's going to be playing on New Year's Day, unless they win their division and probably have to face and beat Wake Forest to win the ACC. They do that, they still might not get a bowl game on New Year's Day. All right? There's what, 6 games on New Year's Day? 6 times 2, that's 12 teams? I don't know. I have no idea. But there you go. Garrity, you know what? He's media friendly. I've talked to him in the past when we were out in the locker rooms, because I usually took the visiting locker room. Never would say don't have time, stick the mic in where it don't shine. He was always media friendly with the Pittsburgh media. I kind of liked him. Don't like what he did a couple of years ago, to the Steeler quarterback, but those things happen. But you know what? He dresses up as the Grim Reaper before the game. Goes out on the field about an hour before the game or whatever, 2 hours, and he's dressed up as the Grim Reaper. On the back of his coat or whatever are the names of all the quarterbacks he has sacked. Okay? Yeah. Guess he was thinking he's a bad dude. Well, the bad dude could not get past Mr. Moore, who was a rookie 4th-round pick for the Steelers. Matter of fact, I didn't hear Myles Garrett's name very often. I think he had 1.5 sacks. If you're going to do something like the Grim Reaper, you got the tombstones or all those cemetery things in front of your yard, you better go out and play good football and kick somebody's butt. I think he got his butt beat by a 4th-round rookie offensive lineman, Mr. Moore. Okay? I still like Myles Garrett. I thought Cleveland would win at home. And I thought after the game, the Cleveland Brown coach maybe outcoached himself. I would have started Casey Keenum. He knows the system. I think he knows how to control the offense. And why did the Cleveland Browns not run the ball more in the first half? I don't know. I've been trying to look for some comments from the clevelandbrowns.com where they have a lot of comments, whatever. And I don't know what's wrong with Odell Beckham, but the trade deadline is tomorrow. I got a feeling his butt will be out of town. He's got to take number 13 somewhere. Now, here's the bad news in the NFL today. The number one story that everybody's talking about, not Chris Boswell getting plastered when he tried to play quarterback. Looks like Derrick Henry, the best running back in the league, may be out for the year with maybe a broken foot. MRI has not come back yet. Imagine him out of the lineup for the rest of the year. And imagine the Tennessee Titans maybe won't go to the playoffs. He's a bulldog. He is a bulldog. Without him in the lineup, Mike Vrabel, the ex-Steeler, has some problems there. But I couldn't wait for the Steelers to play Tennessee in a few weeks. It would be number 22, Henry, for Tennessee, going up against number 22 of the Steelers, Najee Harris, who takes a pounding every game. I watched Ben Roethlisberger about 4 or 5 times. When he got planted, hit, or sacked, it took him a few seconds to get up off the ground. He's still taking a beating. That offensive line, I will give them credit. I think they're getting better every week, okay? But they're going to face other pretty good defenses down the road. And how about the Bengals, Wade? I would have bet your ping hat and a case of RC Cola, because you like RC and so do I, that the Bengals go into New York and rip the Jets of you-know-what. So the Jets start this guy who just wanted to play a game in pro football, and he outshined Joe Burrow. And they beat the Bengals. I didn't see that coming. You?
I don't think anyone did. Certainly the people in Las Vegas didn't.
No. I wonder if my guy in Legend, I think he had Cincinnati in 6 or something. But, I hate to say it, like Chuck Noll used to tell us, on any given day in the National Football League, you don't know. You could be unbeaten, and a team 0-7, not named the Detroit Lions. Oh, boy.
Bill?
Yeah.
How about Jameis Winston, the quarterback for the Saints being out?
He was having a good year. Looked like he was going to have a good game, and he's gone. He's gone. That's bad.
Some people say that would be a nice landing spot for Cam Newton.
Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow's a trade deadline, too. Yeah, that's pretty good. I never thought of that, Wade. Thank you.
I just heard it on TV this morning.
Yeah, but you shared it with me. That's why I got you there. I didn't even think of that. Who would be a replacement? And the trade deadline's tomorrow. I got a feeling a couple of Steelers are going to be long gone. You know, Zach Banner, I mean, he's bigger than a skyscraper. He says he's been healthy for about 3 weeks. Mike Tomlin said he was healthy 2 weeks ago, and he has yet to play. It's because Mr. Moore is playing better, I think. He could be gone. Maybe Washington could be gone. Who knows? I think it's going to be an exciting trade deadline. But how do you replace Derrick Henry? Who's out there? Jimmy Brown thinks he can still play. I'm not going to tell him to his face he's over the hill because I want to keep what remaining teeth I have. And I still say he's the greatest running back of all time. We can argue about that another day. All right, nice weekend. All right, nice weekend for the West Virginia Mountaineers and the Ohio State Buckeyes, okay? And how about the Mountaineers? They beat a guy they couldn't beat for a while, all right? Yeah, I forgot his name already. But West Virginia now 4-4, 2-3 in the Big 12, okay? What was their star quarterback? What was his name? Why am I getting these? Brock Purdy. He wasn't so pretty against that West Virginia defense that shined, all right? He made a couple of big third down plays, but Purdy wasn't the Purdy that beat West Virginia 3 years in a row, but they lost. Nice win for the West Virginia Mountaineers. Nice win for number 5 Ohio State, holding off number 20 Penn State. I think James Franklin, after the season, will be headed for Southern California, all right? Although he says I haven't been in contact with him. Well, coaches, like broadcasters, they can tell little fibs. This is no fib. Wade is waving at me. That means I got to take a break. I don't want him coming through the window and knocking my teeth out. Wade, do what you do best. Take care of business behind the glass.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Carrie Hudasek. Cabell County Schools lifts its mask mandate today, meaning all students and staff will no longer be required to wear a mask in school buildings. This is due to active cases declining locally. The school district made the announcement Thursday after the county moved into the gold category on the state DHHR's COVID-19 map. AARP West Virginia State Director Gayleen Miller says U.S. Senator Joe Manchin needs to step up to make sure a key provision to lower prescription drug costs is kept within President Joe Biden's domestic policy framework.
He needs to help bring maximum pressure to the holdouts to get this done.
The provision was previously removed. Miller argued there is support for Medicare to negotiate for lowering the cost of prescription drugs. The Morgantown Urban Deer Archery Program is marking a milestone in helping to feed the hungry. Volunteer bow hunter Rick Bebout says this season they have harvested more than 50 deer.
The 1st of October, we surpassed the 10,000 pound mark of donated meat, and we're currently sitting at 10,078 pounds.
He says this season will extend into January. You can read more about the program at wvmetronews.com. A fire chief in Tyler County has died from COVID-19. Ronald McCroby, chief of the Alma Volunteer Fire Department, died on Saturday at the age of 54. He was a firefighter for more than 30 years. A viewing and funeral will be held Wednesday and Thursday in Middlebourne. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's an annual celebration of Appalachian Heritage. Mountaineer Week kicks off today on the WVU Morgantown campus. There will be lunchtime concerts and old-time storytelling, an arts and crafts fair, as well as food like apple butter and kettle corn. The celebration begins at noon today with a beard growing contest. Today is the first day of the Affordable Care Act open enrollment period in West Virginia. A virtual press briefing will be held at 1 this afternoon about resources and deadlines for healthcare consumers. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Carrie Hudasek.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
We're a farm store, a family store. Look what I found store. We're a store made for real people and some real beasts. We're a hey neighbor kind of store and an everyday low price store. We're Rural King, and we're working hard to be your favorite store. Check out the huge selection of men's, women's, and kids' Wrangler clothing at the lowest prices every day. Like these Wrangler Retro Bootcut jeans for just $49.99.
Missing classes, dropping grades, changes in personality, these can all be signs of youth gambling. Learn how to recognize the warning signs for youth gambling at changethegameohio.org. With high schoolers having twice the rate of gambling problems as adults, it's essential to have a conversation with the teen in your life about the risks of gambling. ChangeTheGameOhio.org has free resources for parents and educators to help prevent youth gambling. This message is brought to you by Ohio for Responsible
Are you
Gambling.
or your loved ones facing a serious legal battle? The law office of Paul Harris wants you to know you aren't alone. Do you need someone that's not afraid to go to trial and fight for your rights? Attorney Paul Harris and his team are willing to go where most firms are not. The courtroom. With a successful track record in civil litigation, criminal defense, including tax issues and healthcare fraud, Harris Law Office will fight for their clients by offering the most aggressive representation in and out of court. Call Paul Harris at Harris Law Office for a free consultation. 304-232-5300.
Hey man, what can I get you?
Yeah, can I have 2 Coors Lights?
You got it. Hey Mike! I need 2 Coors Lights!
With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go.
Thanks, Mike. Doing a great job. All right, 2 ice-cold Coors Lights.
That's the coldest beer I've ever had.
Hey, they don't call it the world's most refreshing beer for nothing.
Okay, be honest with me. Do you really have the Rocky Mountains in your beer cooler?
You don't believe it? Check it out.
Man, that's pretty amazing.
I know, right? I can't believe it myself sometimes. I mean, this cooler is only 3 feet wide.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Hi, it's Howard Monroe. When you join Brad Leonard and me weekday mornings from 7 to 10 for the Watchdog Morning Show, we'll have all the top stories of the day. We'll go behind the scenes with some informative guests giving you some interesting information. And, of course, some off-the-wall, off-the-beaten-path kind of issues and stories that you may not hear in the top headlines. Plus, your news, your sports, your weather. Zach Petty, Bill DeFabio, Tony Caridi. We're just your morning breakfast club, getting together and chewing the fat. Hope you'll join us weekday, 7 to 10. The Watchdog Morning Show right here.
And the sign said, long-haired freaky people need not apply. So I tucked my hair up under my hat and I went in to ask him why. He said, you look like a fine, upstanding young man. I think you do. So I took off my hat and said, imagine that.
Me working for you. Can you imagine you working for me? I've always treated my stringers, people I worked with when I was their boss. I was probably the worst boss in the world. Okay? And I've been in management in a lot of radio stations and that. Instead of throwing people under the bus, which I should have, could have, I would throw myself under the bus. Because I know what it's like when I was told years ago to fire every non-sports people at the radio station. Okay? I won't mention the name ESPN. And I did it because I had to, but people in my business usually get fired before the holidays. And this was like 10 days before Thanksgiving. So, they got nice severance checks. But when you fire somebody, somebody who's either a mom or a dad, or they got children to take care of, they got car bills, utility bills they might be behind, mortgage. It affects everybody when you get fired. So, Wade, do you believe that I used to be a really cool boss? Maybe too nice of a boss.
I can see that.
Yeah. Too nice. It was hard for me to fire anybody. I've been fired a lot of times, but I've been lucky. I get fired on a Tuesday, I would have another job on a Wednesday or Thursday with the competition. You know, that's why I always consider myself, and I am right now, a free agent. Same with security. I've been offered a lot of jobs, okay? Yeah, baby. Yeah. Okay, coming up tomorrow, we got the WVU press conference, all right? That should be interesting. And who are they playing? Ooh, Oklahoma State at West Virginia. Ooh, that's going to be a good one. That's going to be a real good one. That might be like 40-38. Hope West Virginia wins. You know, they need 6 wins to become bowl eligible. Where somebody, maybe 5 and 6, can go to a bowl. They got so many bowls. I remember when there was just 7 or 8 of them. But that was a long, long time ago when football games didn't take more than 2.5 hours to be played. By the way, I'll say it about the pros, and I'll say it about college football. The officiating has sucked. You know, there's no consistency. You know, maybe some of these officials are afraid to make a call or have no calls. All right? Baseball's way too long. Way too long. What was that one World Series game, Game 3 or whatever? 4.5 hours? Are you kidding me? Oh, boy, oh, boy. Speaking of the World Series, at 1:05, the voice of the Pirates will share his thoughts on the current World Series. I thought it would end in Atlanta. I'm glad I didn't bet Wade's house on it because I would have, well, maybe I would have lost. Yeah. Houston won. I kind of figured that. It's hard to beat somebody, 4 times or whatever. And, you know, it was the first loss for the Braves in the postseason. They entered last night's game 8-0 at home during the postseason. But, you know, Houston's loaded. Houston's loaded. Game 6 will be played Tuesday, all right? If there's a Game 7, it will also be played in Houston. We may as well let it go 7 so the networks can make a lot of money off their 7-minute commercials. Oh, goodness. I went during what stage was it? The 3rd or 4th inning? It was long. I don't know. I went to the bathroom, okay? Spent some time there. I know you're probably eating lunch. I don't care. And then I made myself a sandwich. And I said, you know, with this ham and cheese sandwich, I want a bottle of beer. Went down and got a bottle of beer. Came back, and there were still commercials going on. What are we going to do about that, Wade? I mean, I know commercials pay the rent, but baseball games are too long. Some pro football games are too long. What are we going to do about all that? Nothing?
Well, we need to stop these players from adjusting their gloves after every swing.
Yeah.
I mean, the gloves didn't come off, you know?
You remember No More Garcia?
Oh, yeah.
It took him like a half hour to get his glove straightened out. Then he would grab his crotch, pull his pants up, check his belt buckle, and the pitcher standing out there, I've been ready. Whatever.
Yeah, you can predict the antics they're going to take.
Didn't see that in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even in the 80s. You know, Ozzie Smith used to take a little bit of time. All right? He studied the game, and I think he's one of the best shortstops ever. And I liked it when he would come out on the field and do backflips or whatever. Good interview, too. One of my favorites. Way, way back when. But some of these hitters, give me a break, and then they step out, you know? I don't know if we need a time clock. I have no idea. Does the umpire say, hey, come on, let's go? And then you're going to have problems there. So, baseball has enough problems, and I don't know if they'll ever solve them. But if there is a work stoppage, there's going to be millions of people not going to go back to the ball games. All right? You always say, well, we'll come back. People are getting tired of, you know, all this happening. We ain't coming back. And who knows what the price of tickets will be next year with everything going sky high. Sky high. You know, and I did some shopping over the weekend. The last time I did shopping was last Tuesday, and I swear a lot of the things that I double up on went up. You know, dairy products, up. I didn't check spam. Maybe I should load up on spam. You like spam, Wade? That's a no. You have your mic on?
That's a no.
Yeah, that's a no. Okay. Do you like those little wieners, those Hormel wieners in a can?
Yeah.
I like those too. I like those. You don't like anchovies though, do you?
I don't think I've ever eaten an anchovy.
Okay. All right. I'm just testing you.
Those
Are you ready for Thanksgiving?
As ready as I'm ever going to be.
Turkey or ham, or both?
Turkey.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have a turkey dinner made for a couple. I don't know how many of us will be around. I would like to have dinner on my birthday Thursday with one of my sons, but all 3 are busy. Harry Chapin, Cats in the Cradle, that's Bill DeFabio. Maybe I earned that title, but I worked my butt off. You know, my kids, all their education's paid for in cash. Whatever. Do I regret anything I've done in the past? One thing, I should have spent more time with my kids. Okay? But they benefited. And when I become spirit in the sky, they'll benefit even more. All right. That's that. But I want to reach 70 on Thursday. I don't want to be in the hospital. The last two November 4th, I was in the emergency room and had to stay overnight because of heart problems and diabetes problems, okay? I'm getting a little bit healthy now. I just want to make it past the 4th. Then on the 5th, I may have a 5th and end up back in the hospital. I can't win because I don't care. I do care about this. When I'm here from 12 to 3, I'll try and make this show as entertaining as possible, lots of information. You want to do a sportscast after the break?
Sure.
Okay, we'll hear from the sound of sports from coaches and players alike. Interesting sound bites from the Steelers, the World Series. Who'd I forget? I forgot somebody. Anyhow, I have it written down. I'll go and find it, and I'll have a script for the sound bites to be played to you by Wade. Wade and Bill, there's a pretty good 1-2 punch on a Monday afternoon in the neighborhood.
Hi, it's Hoppy Kercheval inviting you to join me weekdays, 10 till noon for Statewide Talk Line. We talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. We talk with top political figures, sports personalities, and sometimes just us folks talking, all offering our opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard.
Are you traveling? Working a little bit too much? Is your fur baby starting to get a little shaggy? Let Dirty Paws be your one-stop shop for all of your pet care needs. Stop in and see us at 202 18th Street or give us a call at 304-639-7754 to schedule your appointments for dog grooming, doggy daycare, and dog boarding today.
Sports Map Radio is on all night long. Tune in to get up to the minute sports coverage on FM 98.1, AM 1600. We are the Watchdog.
And the Nailers with the most dramatic of victories. 5 seconds left, they score.
Nailers hockey is coming back, and so should you. Join us for opening night, Saturday, November 6th. Puck drops at 7:10 at West Banco Arena. Kick the night off with a pre-game fan fest with inflatables for all ages, plus post-game autographs. And each fan takes home a magnet schedule. Gotta get back to the excitement of Nailers opening night. Buy your tickets now. Call 304-234-GOLD or go to WheelingNailers.com.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1 W251CY, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7 W249DU, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never go back. 'Cause it's a root for the home team.
You know what, Wade? We should have saved that for Greg Brown. Who sings that?
That's Dr. John.
Dr. John. Might have been the right place, could have been the wrong time, Dr. John?
Same
From
one.
the 60s?
Same
I thought
one.
he died 20 years ago.
Well, he did, but this is.
Oh, okay. If
one of
Dr.
his
John's
songs.
family is listening, sorry about that. Wait, I saw him. I saw him with the Chambers Brothers, where they say, time, time. 3 Chambers Brothers played. They were the opening act for Dr. John. Oh, boy, oh, boy. I forgot if I was working the door back then. I did a lot of that at bars and stuff. I had so many jobs in Boston. People thought I was a Rockefeller. I can't even spell Rockefeller. But I saw Dr. John and the Chambers Brothers in one night in a place that holds about 150 people. Back then, it was $5 per person, which was very expensive back in, 73, 74. I also saw Dion, okay, Brian Hyland, yeah. And by the way, the doo-wop. You ready for this, folks? I had to miss the doo-wop because I was working the Pitt-Miami game and making a lot of money, by the way. spent a lot of it on gas coming home, but whatever. The doo-wop went well Saturday. And I knew last week who the next doo-wop guests were going to be, but I raised my right hand to Charlie Pappas. I said, I will not tell anybody, okay? I'm the only one that knows. Now that I know, I can tell you, but Charlie said I can go ahead and tell you about the next doo-wop. We're talking Gary Puckett and the Union Gap and the son of Jerry Lewis, who had a ton of hits, Diamond Ring, Green Grass on My Window. I thought that was somebody growing marijuana on their windowsill. Gary Lewis and the Playboys. How about that for a 1-2 punch? Wow. And here's some breaking news already. Big trade. Blockbuster TRADE. Are you ready? Von Miller's always said he wants to end his career as a Denver Bronco. He's no longer a Denver Bronco because he was traded to the LA Rams in exchange for 2 22 draft picks. Ooh, how about that? A second and third round. You know, Von Miller's best days are behind him. But he can still be a usable defensive player to go along with that pretty good Rams defense with Donald Arnold, okay, the former Pitt guy, who some say is the best defensive player in the league. I disagree with that. I think it's the Steelers' T.J. Watt. But that's for another day.
I'll leave Dr. John up, and you cue me if you want to play that for Greg Brown.
Yeah, I think he'd like that. Then I'll ask him if he knows who Dr. John is, and he'll say, who? Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you found that. Dr. John might have been the right place, could have been the wrong time.
Oh, I love that song.
Do you? Want me to sing in its entirety for you?
No, thanks.
Oh, you put me down, Wade. You knocked me out. You're not even Muhammad Ali.
I've heard you sing.
I sing better in the bathroom. You know when I go down the hall and do my thing? I sing because nobody hears me. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Nothing like having fun, right? We don't take ourselves too seriously. And why should we? We're trying to have fun because, you know, before 12 and after 3 at this particular radio station, life still goes on, and most of the things that's happening in life sucks. Can you imagine gas between $4 and $5 soon? How about natural gas? Your gas bill's going to double. What about water? You know, all the things that we take for granted. West Penn Power already got the notice, going up 11%. Now, you might say that's not a lot, but it is a lot, okay? Everything's going up, you know? Toys are going up. I don't even know if we have a Toys R Us in our neighborhood anymore. The 2 we had are gone. I got to go to, like, the South Hills Village. I wonder if there's one in St. Clairsville. There used to be a Toys R Us in St. Clairsville. I take my kids all the time because then we'd go down the street to McDonald's and I treat them to dinner. Yeah, that's right. They like McDonald's. And then I would go across the street to the movie theater, St. Clairsville Mall. And then I'd always go by the Fabio's Pizza. Or is it Fabio's Pizza? I think it's the Fabio's Pizza. All right? Yep, I enjoyed that shopping center. And there's a lot of stores closed there, too. I used to go shopping there, the Sears? It's gone. Who would ever thought years ago there'd be no Sears Roebuck? But yet, what's the name of the tools? What's the name of the tools that last forever, Wade? Craftsman?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find Craftsman stores anywhere now.
Well,
you don't have to go to a Sears.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Even Lowe's?
I don't know. Where was I? Royal King? Ollie's? Boy, the deals I got in Ollie's on candy. Wow. You know, stuff at 7-Eleven, like Hershey bars that, you know, are 2 for $4. If you buy 1, 2 for $39. They're like $1.25 a piece for the large bars at Ollie's. Books that I've spent $29.95 for, I found 3 of them. They were like $6 on sale. Not used, they're just discounted. Ugh. And then I hear Aldi's, it's not confirmed, but they could close almost all of their grocery stores next year. What's going on there? Every Aldi's I've been to, the parking lot's packed. I have no idea. Are they losing money?
They were never big around here.
No.
In West Virginia.
No. Oh. That's true. We have time to do the cast?
Sure.
Not very long.
Sure.
You got the cuts ready?
Yeah.
Okay, the executive producer is going to press the right buttons if I give him the right information. Sometimes I'm wrong. Here we go. In Cleveland, the Steelers beat the Browns 15-10. Let's hear from quarterback Ben Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Got a lot of heart, and I told the guys that before the game. I said, you can make up for talent. You can make up for things with heart. And I thought they showed a lot of heart today.
You gotta have heart. Who sang that? Was that on Damn Yankees? I don't know. All right. I disagreed with this with Coach Tomlin. Why? Well, the Steelers tried to score a TD on a fake field goal late in the first half, all right? Chris Boswell, who was going to attempt the field goal, place kicker, he decided to play Tom Brady. So he rolls out, throws a pass, incomplete, but he was injured. I mean, he got tagged. He got knocked on his ass trying to throw a pass. I think there should have been a penalty on that play, but I'm not the official score or the officials. Head coach Mike Tomlin admitted after the game, hey, that was my mistake. Big time mistake, coach.
The fake field goal, man, was a bad call because we poorly executed it. And so I take responsibility for that. I appreciate the guys backing my play and fighting for 60 minutes and delivering victory and making it a side note.
Yeah, but you still said poorly executed. That means the player screwed up, coach. Just say it's my fault.
Threw the guy under the bus.
Pardon me?
Poorly executed. He threw him under the bus.
Yeah. I've never been thrown under a bus. I hope I'm never thrown under a bus or hit by a bus or the many trucks that cut in front of me or, they're on my butt coming down Cabela's Hill. I tell you what, it's always an adventure going down the hill and coming up the hill, but that's okay. I've done well for 11 years. Now, I would have bet Lola at least 5 cases of beer that there's no way the Bengals, she could live on 5 cases of beer, that would last her a day. No way the Bengals are going to go to New York and face a bad Jets team with a quarterback that's playing his first professional game. Before the game, he told the reporters, I don't know, one of the talking heads who keeps talking, I just want to have fun in my first debut. Fun? He led the Jets to a 34-31 win over the Bengals. The Bengals will think about that loss for a long time, all right? Here was one of the big stories in the NFL. What was that thing that would kill Superman? Kryptonite? Tom Brady has some kryptonite. It's called the New Orleans Saints. Against the Saints as a Buccaneer, he's 1-3. How about Tom Brady yesterday? All right, didn't have a good game in that 36-27 loss to New Orleans. And he was intercepted a total of 3 times.
Yep, tough game. Good team, but we didn't obviously play the way we're capable, and I got to play better, so.
He'll play better. Tell you what, they better not think ahead and say, we got to play New Orleans in the NFC Championship game in New Orleans. Could happen. You never know. All right, Sunday. It was Sunday night, in case you missed it. It was a pretty good game. I thought the Vikings at home could beat the Cowboys. It looked that way for a while, but the Cowboys won 20-16. So America's team, used to be America's team, is off to a real good start. Prescott didn't play. I forgot the name of his quarterback. Was it Rush? I don't know. He played well. See, backups, you give them an opportunity, they're going to show their stuff because maybe they're auditioning for other teams. Okay?
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush. Is that it? Yeah. CR. There you go. Tonight, I think I'll miss this one. Although, the Chiefs have been struggling, I think Mahomes is like leading the league in interceptions or tied. Who would ever thought? Well, his offensive line, not very good. His defensive line, not very good. But I think they'll beat the Giants tonight. It's at Kansas City. All right. We already went over the top 20. I'll remind you again for the top 5, Georgia, Cincinnati, Alabama, and Oklahoma. May as well mention Michigan State at number 5, and at number 6, Ohio State. We can never forget Ohio State. By losing to Miami, Pitt is not it. I'm sure people in West Virginia will get out those shirts called Pitt Eats, you know what? It's a 4-letter word, and it's not dirt, okay? Pitt drops out of the top 25. Who would have thunk, huh? World Series, Atlanta was the home, but Houston called Atlanta home with a win, okay? They beat the Braves 9-5. Game 6 will be in Atlanta. I think it's going to go 7. Then who knows what's going to be happening, all right? That's it in a nutshell. Sound bites from the people who coach and play the game in the crazy, wonderful, wacky world of sports.
We have Coach Baker.
Baker? Did I forget Baker? One of my favorite interviews a long time ago, and he's still playing. I remember him on those Dodger teams that whacked the Yankees back in the 70s. What a lineup. Ron Say, Steve Garvey, Davey Lopes, Dusty Baker. How about Don Sutton pitching? Belzueva pitching, okay? Fernando, boy, was he a hit. Yeah, he was on that team. Right now, his team, the Houston Astros. He's been in a couple World Series. This might be his first one to win, right? Let's hear from Dusty.
We don't really worry about what other people say or what they think. I mean, it's what you think of yourself and what you think of each other on the team that, that really counts.
Yeah, really counts. I like some of their players. Who's the guy smallish in size? What's his name? Plays infield Wade. Come on.
Altuve.
Yeah, I love that guy. I love when they win. He jumps in the guy's arms. It looks like a little baby jumping up. Whatever. And I like gonorrhea. Not gonorrhea, diarrhea. Correa. Hey, don't dump me. I said it. I made a mistake. I like him. Correa. Oh, whatever. By the way, that's Alex Cora's good friend, by the way. All right? They're all good friends in this business, except when they're on the playing field. You know? Ooh. 2. Yeah. Good God, y'all.
To me. Oh, I despise, 'cause it means destruction of innocent lives. War means tears to thousands of mothers.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. The time to act is now. That's the message President Biden is delivering to other world leaders at the United Nations Climate Summit in Scotland.
President Biden said nations need to decide to act to seize on what he called the, quote, enormous opportunity to reverse the trend of climate change, or asked will the global community, as he put it, quote, condemn future generations to suffer.
This is the decade that will determine the answer, this decade. The science is clear. We only have a brief window left before us to raise our ambitions and to meet the task that's rapidly narrowing.
Karen Travers, ABC News, traveling with the president in Scotland.
The president also apologizing for the prior administration pulling out of the Paris Climate Agreement. But ABC's Cecilia Vega, also traveling with the president, says other nations hope to see some promises from the U.S. delivered soon.
He's going to be met with a lot of skepticism here. So many world leaders have seen so many other American presidents lay out these plans to fight climate change only to be met with resistance back home. That's certainly what's happening to President Biden, his early administration so far.
ABC News has learned that Democratic negotiators are still working on getting the president's social spending agenda, the Build Back Better bill, finalized and might need more time before lawmakers can vote on it. COVID vaccines nearly ready to be administered to kids ages 5 to 11. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky.
Parents should feel comforted, not just that their children will be protected, but that this vaccine has gone through the necessary and rigorous evaluation that ensures the vaccine is safe and highly effective.
Vaccine mandates in New York City haven't led to the closures of firehouses, even though some firefighters haven't complied. There have been a handful of fire companies without staff due to sickouts. People are trapped underneath the rubble of a 21-story building after it collapsed in Nigeria's largest city. You're listening to ABC News.
At CDW, we get modern servers need to be flexible.
Flexible, scalable, and predictable. I predicted you'd say that.
Okay, what would I say next?
Probably something about server security.
Impressive and freaky. CDW can implement secure Hewlett-Packard Enterprise Gen 10 servers that improve speed and performance while reducing
costs. See, predictable.
IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it.
I predict a web address.
CDW.com/HPE.
I'm in your mind, man.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with a booming voice that emphasizes all the main points. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
That part is super important.
Here's one with a booming voice.
I'm emphasizing everything.
Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance.
Like a page with every word highlighted.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Actor Alec Baldwin saying over the weekend he doesn't think production of the movie Rust will ever resume after the deadly accidental shooting of the head of photography and wounding of the director. Baldwin telling paparazzi this weekend that he's cooperating fully with the investigation and staying in touch with the widow and son of Helena Hutchins.
Crew members have told us before that fatal shooting, there were red flags on that set. At least 2 accidental discharges of prop guns. The film's armor, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, in a statement through her lawyers, says one was by the prop master, another by a stuntman, though the film's production company says they never received any official complaints about weapon safety on the set.
ABC's Kaylee Hartung. Israel gearing up to welcome tourists again, especially ahead of the important Christmas season. ABC's Jordana Miller in Jerusalem.
Israel opening its borders to individual tourists again, but only those that are vaccinated. Tourists must show proof of a WHO-approved vaccine, the booster, or recovery from COVID-19 within the last 6 months. This in time for pilgrims around the globe to visit the Holy Land this Christmas season. The cavernous Church of the Holy Sepulchre here in Jerusalem already buzzing with crowds again.
Coca-Cola says it's paid $5.6 billion for the remaining share of the sports drink company Body Armor, part of a larger push to diversify its offerings. It's Coke's largest ever brand acquisition. This is ABC News.
With just one spray of Microban 24, your hard surfaces are sanitized for up to 24 hours. Touch after touch after touch.
So 6 hours from now?
Still sanitized.
12 hours?
Yep.
18 hours.
We're really doing this.
24 hours.
When used as directed, one spray of Microban keeps killing 99.9% of bacteria, touch after touch for, up to 24 hours.
Wow.
Microban 24. The sanitizer 4 out of 5 doctors would use in their own homes. So why aren't you?
Chuck Severson, ABC News.
This is ONN. One of the 4 retail pharmacy companies on trial for their alleged roles in fostering an opioid crisis in 2 Ohio counties has settled a lawsuit with 10 government entities in the state. ONN's Eric Brown reports.
The settlement announced last week by Pittsburgh-based Giant Eagle includes Lake and Trumbull counties in northeastern Ohio. The county's federal lawsuits against CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart continues in a trial in Cleveland. The agreement was announced in a joint statement by Giant Eagle and the plaintiffs' committee for the nearly 3,000 government agencies and tribal entities nationwide that have filed opioid-related lawsuits, supervised by U.S. District Judge Dan Polster. No settlement terms were announced. Eric Brown, ONN News.
And LL Cool J brought out some musical heavyweight friends in Cleveland Saturday night to help usher him into rock immortality. Dave James has the details.
Part of an eclectic 2021 class that includes Carole King, Tina Turner, The Go-Go's, Jay-Z, Foo Fighters, and Todd Rundgren, Cool J was joined on stage by rapper Eminem and Jennifer Lopez for a powerful performance during the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The show opened with Taylor Swift performing King's Will You Love Me Tomorrow. Former Beatle Paul McCartney inducted Foo Fighters and said he was super privileged to be at the event. Other presenters and performers included Drew Barrymore, Keith Urban, and Lionel Richie. Dave James, ONN News.
For a look at state news anytime, visit ONNradio.com. I'm Daniel Barnett on the Ohio News Network.
304-214-1600. Call the Watchdog with your thoughts. We'll be right back to Local Talk.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I am the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your start to the work week. Look for clouds and sunshine, a daytime high in the lower 50s. You'll see the overnight low touching down to about 40 degrees under partly cloudy skies with clouds and sunshine mixing for your Tuesday, highs in the lower 50s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur. or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to the outer limits.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, the Watchdog.
Everywhere is freaks and Harris, dykes and fairies. Tell me where is sanity? Tax the rich, feed the poor. Tell there are no rich no more.
Yeah, I'd love to change the world. What change? If I only had one change, I don't know what it would be. I have no idea. I wouldn't want to be the richest guy in the world because everybody would be knocking on my doors. I'd have to move to Greenland. First people I would hear from would be relatives. I don't know, Wade, but I got this to ask you. You think Von Miller is smiling today? We just broke this story while CBS broke it. Von Miller, who has told people that he wants to retire as a Denver Bronco, won't get the chance. He was traded to the LA Rams for a number 2 and a number 3 draft pick in 2022. And not only is he going to a playoff contender, Denver is going to pay $9 million of his salary to the Rams. How about that? You talk about winning the lottery, okay? Seems like every time I talk to this guy, I've won the lottery. I don't win money from him, but I get some good information from my good friend, Greg Brown. How do you like that intro, Greg?
I was going to say, that might be the nicest intro you've given me ever. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's very kind. Very kind.
Wade found a very nice song that he suggested to me. You think Greg Brown would like it. You ever hear of a performer called Dr. John?
Oh, yeah.
Right place, right time?
Dr. John, right place at the right. Yeah, yep, I was in the right place. Must have been the wrong time.
Yeah, you ready for him? He's singing this
Dr.
song.
John wasn't Dr. John, wasn't his group Dr. John and the Medicine Cabinet?
I don't think so. I don't know. He had the fancy headdress like Sam the Sam, whatever, in the Pharaohs. Remember him?
I think Dr. John performed about 10 years ago at the South Side, what's the name of that place? Not Metropole, but anyhow. Sanctuary, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Yep.
And I think I went there with a couple of buddies to watch him perform. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's New Orleans. I think his group was Dr. John and the Medicine Cabinet for whatever reason. But thank you for that. That's by the way, who is the singer of your lead-in song?
What do you mean?
Was that the Doors?
10 years after. I'd love to change the world 10 years after.
Yeah.
It was a one-hit wonder.
I'd never heard of that.
Oh, okay.
I'll be darned.
I play a lot of rant songs because I'm ranting all the time, you know?
Oh, yeah, I know it.
All right, here's Dr. John's song that you probably haven't heard. It's a baseball song. Are you ready?
Yep.
Wade, take it away.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never go back. 'Cause there's a root for the home team. And if I don't win, it's a shame. 'Cause there's a 1, 2, or 3 strikes till I'm at you.
What do you think, Greg?
Yeah, well, I love that version of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and I've actually heard it because someone played it. I want to say somebody like a Bob Costas that could be wrong, but someone that was his lead-in to a weekly show he had.
Oh, okay.
It might have been, it might not have been the Costas show. It was something else, but I've heard that. It's been a while, but it's one of my favorite versions of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Great job pulling that from the archives.
Well, that's Wade. Hey, Wade.
Way to go, Wade.
Yeah. By the way, Wade's in there for Lola. Lola, I guess, was in the hospital for 48 hours because her Michigan Wolverines lost.
Ooh.
So she took Monday off. Hopefully she'll be okay tomorrow.
Hope she's okay, but thanks to Wade for that.
Yeah. Wade, why don't you try and find Dr. John right place, we'll play for Greg before he leaves, okay?
Will do.
All right. Wade and I are a little bit disappointed. He thought his Dodgers would play my Red Sox in the World Series, but we're like the Reds, Sox, and Dodgers. We're on the outside looking in. Are you having fun watching the World Series, Greg?
I am. I think it's interesting. I kind of hope that maybe we get 7 games out of it.
Yep.
Because, once the last out is recorded, we won't have baseball for a long time, and that'll bum me out. So the more baseball I can get, the better. I think it's been a very interesting series. I got to tell you though, I'm not a fan of a bunch of relievers coming in. I really don't like it.
I don't either.
I don't know how it's going to change. I know some of it has been forced upon these teams because of injury. Like yesterday was Charlie Morton's game, but he's hurt. He's out for the series. So I think Snitker had to go to the bullpen. I'm just not a bit. I think more than anything else, I've been trying to think about it. There are 2 things. Part of the lore of baseball over the years has been the attraction of 2 starting pitchers going head to head, and who will dominate the other, who can outlast the other. Can the other team knock the starting pitcher out of a ball game? Not because he's out of the game based on statistics or analytics, or he can only go through a lineup twice because the 3rd time around the lineup he gets beat up. That number 1. And number 2, relief pitchers really slow the game down. Bob Walk pointed that out to me several years ago. He says, just watch, and I hadn't thought of it. It's amazing how relief pitchers, and I've talked to a couple of them. I talked to Chad Kuhl, the Pirates, this past season about it because he's been a starter, but then he became a reliever. Notice how these relief pitchers, and it doesn't matter when they enter a game, if you're a relief pitcher, for whatever reason, you have to slow the game down to the point where every pitch, again, this could be the 2nd inning, could be the 1st inning these days. You slow the game down, you go from the stretch, you just have this knack of having to look over at first base to see if there's a runner on. Normally there's not a runner on in those situations. And they slow the game down to almost a crawl because they're used to coming into the game normally later. And so when the game intensifies, it becomes even more important. And so the starters being lifted from the games early and sometimes not starting at all have taken away some of the drama, and it's also slowed the game down. So they've got to figure out something with that, in my opinion.
And the games are too long. I told Wade earlier, there was one break, I think it was game 3. I got up, went to the bathroom, and I said, I'm going to make myself a sandwich. So I made a ham and cheese sandwich. I'm going to have a beer. I went downstairs, got a beer, came back. There were still commercials going on.
Well, that's a good thing. It means you didn't miss anything.
Well, that's true. But, football games I've seen, I think it was a college game, there must have been 7 commercials following a 30-second timeout. I know.
So your point is that it's not just baseball, it's all sports.
All sports, yeah. Well, I know a lot of advertisers, TV revenue, people lost money in 2019 or 2020. I understand that, but come on.
I noticed, and because I've been paying a little bit more attention to college football, in particular Pitt, because they've been winning, so I was actually paying more attention to Pitt football the last few weeks. And, the game, well, it was this past Saturday. against Miami, and it was the previous Saturday's game. Nobody talked about it. There was a 12 o'clock kickoff, and at one point 2 weeks ago, it was still going on at close to 7 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and no one talks about the length of the game being almost 4 hours.
Well, Saturday's game, because I had to clock in to do my post-game security, I think I clocked in right after the team, Miami won, and I think it was 4:06. The game should have ended at 3, a 3-hour ball game, start time at noon. Too long.
Yeah.
Too long.
So you're saying that game was over 4 hours?
Just about, yep.
See, that's you're right. It's too long. It's kind of mind-boggling, and it bothers me to a degree because in defense of baseball, where's the outrage about the football games lasting 4 hours? All I hear about is baseball being too long. What's going on now with football?
Yeah, yeah. It's all crazy. You talked about, well, a lot of people, when we talk Pirates, okay, we got a lot of Pirate fans down here, more than Cleveland Indian fans. Whoops.
Well, I hope so.
Cleveland, what is it, Guardians now?
I believe that's what their name will be called next year.
What, the roller derby team is suing somebody? I don't know. We should have kept it at the Indians. What was I getting at? Oh, I'm worried. I don't know what to tell my friends. Do you think the owners will lock out the players? I don't know. Do you have a gut feeling? Any kind of feeling?
If the owners will lock, no, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Because you're dealing with a tough union. You're dealing with a tough union group too. Baseball.
Yeah, I don't have a gut. I was pleased to see, and I don't think he has any information. He's the Pirate player rep, Jacob Stallings, in a story today in the Post-Gazette. He said he was optimistic, but he's really not basing that on any inside information.
Yeah.
You can't predict it. It's been a long time since there's been any kind of a work stoppage in baseball. A long, long time. It used to be almost a foregone conclusion that when they approached their deadline of their CBA that they were going to either have a strike or a lockout, and they've done a really nice job over the last couple decades of being seamless. I don't know. I don't know what the mindset is of the players these days. I don't know. And I don't think anybody wants a work stoppage, certainly. And it's just a matter, I guess, of how far somebody wants to dig in and create that line in the sand, or whether they want to make sure that they just continue to play and there's a lot of give and take. I don't know. I sure hope there's not. I hope it comes out where both ends are either happy or unhappy, that one side doesn't necessarily beat the other side, but they do what's best for baseball. That's what I wish more and more people, when they talk about decisions on rule changes and so on, and with how the game is evolving, and the same goes true with owners and players. So I just wish that they would stick to that mantra of what's good, what's best for the game of baseball and the fans.
Yeah. When was the last? I think it was '94 All-Star game. Right after the All-Star game in Pittsburgh, wasn't there a strike? '94.
Yeah, '94 was the last strike. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know. I just think we don't need something like that, especially in these times. So, this.
Yeah, I just hope cooler heads will prevail, and hopefully they'll get something done. I'd like them to come to find some common ground. There should be smart people involved. That's what this happens every time we approach the CBA. We talk about it, that smart people getting in a room, and if you think about what's best for the game of baseball, you'd think they'd find a way to get something done.
How good is this Houston catcher, Maldonado?
Well, he's pretty good. I mean, he was with the Milwaukee Brewers for a lot of years, and not necessarily known as an offensive catcher, but he's got, as players do, more often than not, the longer they stay in the league, the smarter they get. Oftentimes, the better they get. And you look these days at the catching position, a guy who can especially defend, and the pitch framing, and not necessarily the throwing. It's more pitch framing and calling games than it is throwing out runners and anything else. And offense takes a back seat in the catching position these days. I think that'll change once they introduce the automated strike zone.
Yeah.
then I think more important than ever will be the catcher hitting once again. But yeah, he's pretty good. I don't know that he ranks. I don't watch the American League all that often, so I can't say that he's. When he was with the Brewers, again, that was several years ago, and he was much younger. He's not someone that really stood out. The Brewers didn't feel the need to keep him, so I'd say he's good, but I don't rank him in the top 5, not knowing much about the American League, but certainly not in the top 5 of catchers that I've seen the last couple of years.
Defensive-wise, okay? Don't be a homer. You agree with me that I think Stallings is a top 5? And is he better than Maldonado?
It's hard not to be. Well, again, I don't watch the American League, so I can't say that. So to be fair and objective,
okay.
The guys that I see in the National League, I think Molina is still really good. I think Tucker Barnhart is still really good with the Reds. There, I'm sure some other guys I won't recall right now at the moment. But for me, defensively, and the statistics do bear this out, which is really hard to believe, that you think about the Pirates catcher, Jacob Stallings, has the most defensive runs saved. Again, that's a big formula that they take into account all kinds of things, but more defensive runs saved than any player in the National League, and tied for the most in Major League Baseball, I believe, with Carlos Correa. I could be wrong on that, but that's saying something. And on that statistic alone, you would think he's the best catcher in the league, if not all in baseball. And we're not talking about just the catching position. We're talking about every defensive position in baseball and every player. Nobody saved more runs defensively than Jacob Stallings. That's pretty impressive.
Very impressive. Okay. You got a minute. I'll give you a couple of minutes. I like the chop. No. Some people want to eliminate it. What's your feelings?
Well, it goes back to your point about the Indians. I've said this forever, and I just believe this in just anything we do. There's a fine line between being too politically correct and doing the right thing. So I think if a name, whatever I don't care, in any outside of sports, whatever name that might be, whatever word, if it offends a large group of people, if it's offensive to the majority of people, then I think you should get rid of it. I don't know the answer to that, though. I don't know. Are the Native Americans offended by the term Indians? I don't know. Are they offended by the term Braves? Are they offended by the tomahawk chop?
Yeah. How about the people at PETA? They want to eliminate bullpen.
Well, again, see, that's the great point. That's the extreme. That's where it gets it borders on the ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's the absurdity of it.
Yep.
And that's the problem with this stuff, because what you do when you throw that into the mix, when you throw PETA in there being offended by, then it becomes ludicrous, and you lose sight of the original intent. That if the name is offensive, if the nickname is offensive, I've kind of kidded over the years, Bill, about this, and maybe it's not kidding. I'm making a point here. My ancestry, my family goes back to Ireland. Should I be offended, and I guess I could be, at Notre Dame's nickname? Look at the logo. Listen to the nickname and look at that logo. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
The Fighting Irish.
Yeah.
It's got an Irishman with his fists up in the air, and it's basically labeled the old Irish drunks.
Yeah.
All they do is want to get drunk and fight. Now, should I be? I'm only throwing this out there. I'm not in the least offended. In fact, I never even thought about it until the last few years, when all this stuff starts cropping up. I start to think, now, what would offend me? Like, what? And now you start looking for things. It would surprise me because I'd like to think that we are thicker skinned, and we don't care. And I think that would be ludicrous if you started to make a point about the Fighting Irish nickname and the logo. But you could take it even. How about the Friars?
Yeah.
As a Catholic, should I
Yeah.
be offended by the San Diego Padres?
Yep.
And that logo? I mean, it's a big fat guy in a monk, a monk in a friar costume. That's their mascot.
Yeah.
Should I be offended by that?
How about the Celtics, the leprechaun?
Yeah, this another one. I mean, you could take this down the road, but I think when you do that, you do lose sight of reality. And what we're really talking about here is, again, if it is truly offensive to a large group of citizens, if the American Indian, Native Americans are truly offended by a name, then I think they should get rid of it. Why keep it around if you're offending a bunch of people?
Yeah.
But I don't know the answer to that. I don't know that there's been any great survey done. I think it's just it seems to me to be almost just a quick knee-jerk reaction to be politically correct so you can pat yourself on the back. So, we're not offending anybody.
No.
I think the Cleveland Indians, Bill, were more offended by Chief Yahoo, that big red smiling Indian.
Yeah, I know. What if there's a cause against birds? Are we going to eliminate the Blue Jays, the Orioles, the Cardinals? I don't know.
By the way, Chief Wahoo was the Indian, but I think it was Chief Nakahoma at Fulton County Stadium. Bill, you're old enough to remember this.
Yep.
I certainly am.
Yep.
When an Atlanta Brave would hit a home run, they had a teepee set up
beyond
the center field fence. It was a wire fence, so you could clearly see through the fence.
And they got
when
rid
a home
of it.
run was hit, he would live in this teepee during the game, and he would come out and do a dance.
Yeah.
And he was a native.
Yeah.
He was an Indian. He was a Native American.
Yep. He's representing the Indians or the Braves.
They got rid of that.
Yeah. Or how about the guy in center field at Old Cleveland Stadium banging on the drum all the time? Hey.
Yeah, well, I think he's still around. I don't think that had anything to do with he's not an Indian. That
No.
was a fan.
No.
Out in the bleachers, but and I still think they have that guy hanging around.
All right, real quick, Greg. Favorite candy at Halloween when you were young?
Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Oh, when I was young. Oh man, I can't remember back that far.
Favorite candy bar now?
Jeez. I'll say Three Musketeers.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'm glad we talked today. You've always been at the right place at the right time. You know what that means? Your closure song.
It means I wasn't at the wrong place at the right time. Right place at the wrong time.
I've never been at the right place. I've always made the wrong turn, especially on 70 and 79.
Me too.
Okay. Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Yeah. Dr. DeFabio here. Oh, no, that's not good. The professor? No, that's John Clayton. Well, you're in the right place. AM 1600. Remember, we're the watchdog. We are the voice of the Ohio Valley. And coming up, a conversation between Biff Leonard and Bill DeFabio involving some local high school and college football teams. We may even include Biff's Chicago Bears. Oh, Biff. We'll be right back.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Carrie Hudasek. Cabell County Schools lifts its mask mandate today, meaning all students and staff will no longer be required to wear a mask in school buildings. This is due to active cases declining locally. The school district made the announcement Thursday after the county moved into the gold category on the state DHHR's COVID-19 map. AARP West Virginia State Director Gayleen Miller says U.S. Senator Joe Manchin needs to step up to make sure a key provision to lower prescription drug costs is kept within President Joe Biden's domestic policy framework.
He needs to help bring maximum pressure to the holdouts to get this done.
The provision was previously removed. Miller argued there is support for Medicare to negotiate for lowering the cost of prescription drugs. The Morgantown Urban Deer Archery Program is marking a milestone in helping to feed the hungry. Volunteer bow hunter Rick Bebout says this season they have harvested more than 50 deer.
The 1st of October, we surpassed the 10,000 pound mark of donated meat, and we're currently sitting at 10,078 pounds.
He says this season will extend into January. You can read more about the program at WVMetroNews.com. A fire chief in Tyler County has died from COVID-19. Ronald McCroby, chief of the Alma Volunteer Fire Department, died on Saturday at the age of 54. He was a firefighter for more than 30 years. A viewing and funeral will be held Wednesday and Thursday in Middlebourne. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's an annual celebration of Appalachian Heritage. Mountaineer Week kicks off today on the WVU Morgantown campus. There will be lunchtime concerts and old-time storytelling, an arts and crafts fair, as well as food like apple butter and kettle corn. The celebration begins at noon today with a beard growing contest. Today is the first day of the Affordable Care Act open enrollment period in West Virginia. A virtual press briefing will be held at 1 this afternoon about resources and deadlines for healthcare consumers. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Carrie Hudasek.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on the Watchdog. I'm John Thayer. Adam Duvall hit a grand slam in the first inning, but the Houston Astros beat the Atlanta Braves last night 9-5 to win Game 5 of the World Series. With the victory, the Astros force a game number 6, and the series will shift back to Houston. Game 6 is tomorrow night. Atlanta leads the series 3-2. If Game 7 is necessary, it would be on Wednesday night in Houston. Alex Bowman won at Martinsville yesterday, while Kyle Busch was second. Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., and William Byron rounded out the top 5. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, and Martin Truex Jr. will race for the championship next week in Phoenix. Download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing. I'm John Thayer with the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on the Watchdog.
It's Macy's Friends and Family with our biggest savings on everything you need to get ready for the holidays. Like an extra 30% off brands that rarely go on sale with your coupon or Macy's card. And take 15% off fragrances, skincare, makeup, and more great beauty gift ideas. Going on now at Macy's. Plus get contact-free curbside pickup or pickup in store today. Details at Macys.com/pickup. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Hi, welcome to Furniture Depot. And you, come on in. Yes.
Couches are flying off the floor at Cheyenne's Furniture Store.
Sarah, can you go over to dining sets, please?
She needs more sales associates before shoppers take their seats elsewhere.
Can somebody get me a price check on trundle beds?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Wheeling Coin and Hobby on 10th Street in Wheeling, next to the Bridge Tavern in downtown Wheeling, wants to buy any and all unwanted gold and silver jewelry. They are paying top dollar for 10, 14, 18, and 22 karat gold, plus 925 sterling silver. They also want to buy collectible coins and paper money from before 1933. Wheeling Coin and Hobby is open daily from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Coin and Hobby, 304-232-8430, and add them on Facebook.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hi, it's Howard Monroe. When you join Brad Leonard and me weekday mornings from 7 to 10 for the Watchdog Morning Show, we'll have all the top stories of the day. We'll go behind the scenes with some informative guests giving you some interesting information. And, of course, some off-the-wall, off-the-beaten-path kind of issues and stories that you may not hear in the top headlines. Plus, your news, your sports, your weather, Zach Petty, Bill DeFabio, Tony Caridi. We're just your morning breakfast club, getting together and chewing the fat. Hope you'll join us weekday, 7 to 10, the Watchdog Morning Show right here.
something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. Every time we stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat.
That song's about 50 years old, and if you listen to the lyrics, nothing's really changed, you know? All right? All right, I think I could cue this up and let you listen to Mike Vrabel on Derrick Henry's going to have surgery. Hold on. Here we go. No, we're not. There we go.
Well, Derrick's status is Derrick's going to have surgery in the morning. We're not going to put a timeline on when he may return. I know that he'll do everything that he can back, be able to help this football team, and whenever that is, that's when it'll be. And I know that he'll be around our team as soon as he can.
All right, did you hear part of that? Could we hear that? I heard it in my headsets.
Very faint.
Okay, because I heard it in my headsets. All right, we won't do that again. In a nutshell, Mike Vrabel, the former Steeler linebacker, and we always thought as a player, you know, talking to him after games during the week and everything, he would make a good head coach. Of course, we all said that about Tony Dungy, too, when he was a player. I think he knew more about football than Chuck Noll. All right? He was a good listener. You know the rest of the Tony Dungy story. No timeline for Derrick Henry. He's having surgery tomorrow, okay? He meaning Vrabel, used the term short term, okay? Doing some research, some ankle injuries, recovery time is between 6 and 9 weeks. Oh, well, that's going to be a tough loss because he's basically, you know, the best runner in football right now. Najee Harris probably will replace him. Maybe the Tennessee Titans can find somebody on the trade block, okay, on the trade. So it ends tomorrow night. Or it's already started with Von Miller going to the L.A. Rams, okay? Yeah. Vrabel had that look like, oh, man, we just lost our best player. Well, they did. He was the face of the franchise. And the Steelers play Tennessee in a few weeks. All right, I was looking forward to number 22, Derrick Henry, playing against number 22 of the Steelers, Najee Harris, okay? It concerns me, Wade, how many touches Harris gets. I mean, he's taking a beating, no matter how physically chiseled he is. Every hit's a tough one, you know? And believe me, the defensive players want to hit him as hard as they can. Not to intentionally hurt him, but, and I'll say it, the Harris that I watched in the 70s, 80s, he knew when he saw defensive players coming after him to run out of bounds.
You know, it's amazing the hits that Roethlisberger and the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFL take.
Yeah.
But it seems like when they play against Tom Brady, the defense must be instructed, you better not touch him.
Yeah, because you'll get 15. We get a 15-yard penalty.
They run past him.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah. Well, he's the face of the NFL, period. Although his kryptonite are the New Orleans Saints, you know. Sean Payton probably hoping, you know, if we got to face these guys, hopefully it's on our home turf because in 4 games played, Tom Brady, 4 games played against the Saints are 1-3. 3 interceptions. Speaking of quarterbacks, how about that kid for Pitt? Throws for over 500 yards, okay? 2 interceptions, and they lose. They lose to Miami, who started a backup freshman who, you know, numbers-wise, He outdid one Pickett. So I still think Pickett's going to be I think he gets a trip to the Heisman party. I don't think he'll be the Heisman Trophy winner.
All the leading Heisman Trophy candidates shot themselves in the foot over the past 2 weekends.
Hasn't been a good week. Hasn't been a good week for Heisman Trophy. There's no, there's no Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. I mean, there's no Najee Harris in this class. Somebody will do well in the final 4 or 5 weeks. And tomorrow I'm looking forward to see, who the coaches, whoever vote for the top teams for the playoffs. And I talked to a lot of security people Saturday, and a lot of my friends in the media on Sunday. They should have 8 teams in the playoffs. What do you think, Wade? Go from 4 to 8. Makes it more interesting.
Yes, but please don't go to 12 like some people are talking.
Oh, maybe it's the same people who work for PETA and they want to eliminate the name Bull from bullpen. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. The chop thing, I don't know. I remember making a couple of trips with the Washington Wild Things to Kalamazoo. And those are long trips, and you usually spend 3 or 4 days playing 3 or 4 games. And I was taken to casinos. All the casinos in that area are owned by Indians. And I would ask them about the nicknames. And most of the reaction was, hey, at least they're remembering us, I grew up as a kid, and I mentioned this before, I hated the Indians, Now I'm glad the Indians scalped Custer, because Custer was a nasty human being. Custer would kill innocent Indian women and children. So was the U.S. Army in that back then, Whatever. The Indians got screwed. How about that? We didn't take care of them. We put them on places like reservations where they didn't want to be. The government was in control. Hey, the government still thinks they're in control. But yeah, the Indians, Braves, but everybody I would talk to at the casinos owned by the Indians, they thought it was kind of unique that, people would mention them as far as nicknames. You got what? Blackhawks? You got the Braves? You don't have the Indians? What am I forgetting? I'm sure there's some college teams, What are we going to do? Eliminate now that there's some rare birds that are no longer around? So we're going to eliminate the Blue Jays? Huh? The Cardinals? Oh, boy. There might be a shortage of bears someday. So there might not be any Chicago Bears. We got other things to worry about in what I still call the best country in the world, although it's starting to turn upside down with the problems we're having. But, as a kid, growing up with Depression people, my aunt and uncle would stand in line for a cup of water, warm piece of bread. They were happy, They got over it, okay? 2 world wars, we got over it. 2 wars we shouldn't have had, Korean War and Vietnam War, especially Vietnam, where I lost some friends. 58,000 American soldiers over a senseless war. We got other things to worry about. Famine, supply of food, gas prices. Everything's like out of whack. As a country, we usually come back, We get off the mat and come back and punch out everything and everybody, named Putin and whatever. Yeah, he's smiling because I guess we got to buy oil off of him now. Remember OPEC? Wade, do you remember in the 70s? In the 70s when you had to stand in line to get gas, or you had to have an odd number or an even number during the week? Yeah.
I remember that.
It didn't matter because I drove a Pinto.
Gas was very inexpensive compared to
the only problem with a Pinto,
today,
they said if you got hit in the rear end,
you would explode, yeah.
Mine was a yellow Pinto. And I drove a Corvair too. It's the only thing I could afford. But no girl would go out with me because I drove a Corvair and a Pinto. But I got to watch Pirate baseball and the NBA Finals. But no proms. Did you go to the prom?
Yes.
Both of them?
Yes.
Wow.
Senior, yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back. Wade says take a break. We got to take a break.
Hi, Toppy Kirchville. Join me weekdays at 10 o'clock for Talkline. We'll talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia, top political figures, sports personalities, sometimes just plain folks offering their opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Hello, I'm Chuck Reddick, Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service. We're working hard to get ready for tax filing season. You know who else is working hard? Identity thieves. Keep your computers and your mobile phones secure. Use antivirus software and strong passwords. Look out for email scams. Secure your home Wi-Fi with a password. Stay safe when you shop online. Look for HTTPS in the web address. See irs.gov for details.
Do you or any of your family members, neighbors, or friends own a property that you just want to be done with it? If so, call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you to take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. Call 614-470-2000. I buy properties as is. Make no repairs. Take what you want and leave the rest behind. We make selling easy. I buy vacant properties, pre-foreclosures, and inherited homes. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorces, death in the family, back taxes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
Hi, it's Tony Caridi, host of the CityNet Statewide Sports Line right here on Metro News. Join the Senator, Brad Howe, Coach Greg Hunter, and myself as we discuss the day's biggest sports stories, talking with coaches, former players, and sports writers from all over the state and across the nation, bringing you the latest from the high schools, colleges, and the pro game. So don't miss the CityNet Statewide Sports Line weeknights at 6:06 here on the Metro News Radio Network and streaming live at WVMetronews.com.
When I was a little bitty boy, my grandmother bought me a cute little toy. Silver bells hanging on a string. She told me it was my ding-a-ling-a-ling. Oh, my ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling. I want to play with my ding-a-ling. My ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling. I want to play with my ding-a-ling. When Mama took me to Sunday school and tried to teach me the golden rule, every time the choir would sing, I'd sit there and play with my ding-a-ling. My ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling. I want to play with my ding-a-ling. My ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling. I want to play with my ding-a-ling.
Is that Chuck Berry?
Yes, it is.
Must have been a live version.
No, the live version is much funnier.
Yeah, I was going to say. That's okay. Cleveland Brown fans, Browns Nation, stand by for this update. When your Browns lost to the Steelers, one of the advantages the Steeler defense had, they didn't have to worry about all-pro right tackle Jack Conklin. He suffered a dislocated elbow during the game. According to the coach, he'll miss multiple weeks. The team's not sure yet if he needs to require surgery or placement on the injured reserve. Now, if he's on the injured reserve, that would require a 3-week absence. I hope I got that right. And of course, the coach said the significance of the injury was very, very huge. He was a big part of that offensive line, and of course, there was a backup, but nothing like Conklin, who's, like I said, a all-pro right tackle. Okay, number 78. He was an All-Pro last year, still young at 27. He was named All-Pro as a rookie when he was with the Tennessee Titans. But the Titans wish they had him back. The Browns, of course, dropped to 4-4, last place in the AFC North. That AFC North is getting tighter and tighter, okay? And each team has to play. How about the Bengals? The Browns got to worry about the Bengals this week in Cincinnati. That's a recovery game for the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals don't like the Browns. How about Ben Roethlisberger in the state of Ohio against against Cleveland, And what's the other? Cincinnati, in his career, 50 wins, very few losses. He's probably upset, but I think he wanted to be drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Or maybe Cincinnati. Thank goodness he didn't get drafted by those two franchises. Remember, he had a hell of a rookie year, 15-1. Okay. Took him to the, AFC Championship game? And that's when I guess, all teams cheat. It's just getting caught. I guess that's when somebody on the Patriots scouting staff snuck a camera somewhere on top of some mountain or something and stole all the plays. Even if the Patriots knew the plays, they got to come through and get those plays done. I don't know. But I know when I have Chris Hoke on, he hates the Patriots because of some undoings. And there was football. What was the thing with the air? Flat gate? Air gate?
Yeah, the Deflate gate.
Deflate gate, yeah. Believe me, all teams cheat. All right? It happens in Major League Baseball, too. Whatever. Do I hate the Astros because they cheated a couple of years? No, because I like a lot of their young players. And I love Dusty Baker. But I'd like to see Atlanta win. They haven't won anything since 1996. What franchise has won anything in Atlanta? The Falcons blew it when they blew that big lead in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. The Atlanta Hawks. By the way, there's a shortage of Hawks. We might not have Hawks around. Are we going to eliminate that name? All these people. PETA and all that. I like to have a conversation like LeBron, Let's have a conversation. Or meet me in the parking lot. We'll have a wiener roast. We'll grill some hamburgers and talk about this. Have a couple of brewskis. It's ridiculous how some of these things pop up. And because of social media, people like to jump on the bandwagon. Oh, yeah, did you hear they want to eliminate birds? They want to eliminate bull from bullpen? There's a shortage of turtles, I guess. I don't know. Right now, there's just a shortage of people being nice because there's a lot of greed in the world, a lot of arrogance in the world. You should have seen the shirt I wore last week. You'd have liked it, Wade. Don't ask. I don't care.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And I don't. There are other shirts I'd like to wear, but, I'd probably get in trouble because I have a couple at home. I am the militia. That would probably start a few fights. Okay? I wear a lot of law enforcement hats and shirts and stuff. So I send some money to the South and North Tower Association, which, even a couple of bucks helps the firemen and policemen's families who, of course, passed away in 9/11. And years later, because of, the materials and stuff, a lot of firemen and policemen have passed away. So don't ever want to see anything like that. But you never know today. You never know today. What do we have time for? 2:35, we'll hear from Biff. We're going to talk about all the local teams in football. West Virginia playing postseason. Ohio already postseason. Close call for Steubenville last Friday. I think they're going to be on the road. So let's just go over some of the things. Abbey Road, 1969, Beatles #1 on the U.S. album charts. Okay? A lot of great songs on that album. Come Together, that was great. Give Me Your Money, Honey, whatever. She came in through the bathroom window. Did she? Here Comes the Sun. 1971, the first Eisenhower dollar coins were put into circulation by the U.S. Mint. The coins were minted from 1971 to 1978. This guy appeared in downtown Wheeling a few years ago, but in 1975, Elton John's Island Girl hit #1 on the Billboard Top 100 chart. The song parked itself at the top of the heap for 3.5 weeks. On his date in 1994, the Chicago Bulls retired Michael Jordan's uniform number. You remember his number, Wade? For a cupcake to be named later, what was it?
23.
You got it, man. Next time we work, I'll bring you cupcakes. Put it on display in the United Center. A sculpture was later commissioned and placed outside the arena with the inscription, "The best there ever was, the best there ever will be." Are you listening, LeBron? He was the best and always will be the best. But that's just my opinion. Betsy Palmer. Every time I see Friday the 13th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, she is the mother of the kid that goes around killing everybody. But I also remember as a kid watching a black and white Stromberg television set in the 50s, She was a panelist on I've Got a Secret. Oh, yeah. I've got a secret, Wade. I didn't take a shower this morning, so stay away from me. That's my secret. It's true, folks. I admit it. Okay, it's not bad. I forgot to take a shower, but I shaved. Go figure. She was also in The Last Angry Man, Mr. Roberts, and she was a columnist. She was a writer for the Chicago Tribune. Barry Sadler, songwriter, singer. I didn't like this song, didn't like the movie with John Wayne, The Ballad of Green Berets. It was about 50% true. Larry Flint. Did you ever read Hustler, Wade?
No.
Okay, I got every Hustler. You want to buy them from me?
No, thank you.
Oh, okay. Larry Flint was a popular, some cases not so popular hustler. I liked the cartoons, like Playboy. I always liked the Playboy. Forget the centerfold. You know, if you've seen one female model or male model in Playgirl, you've seen them all. But Larry Flint and the Hustler and the cartoonist, I think it was Leroy Neiman too, in Playboy, had the funniest cartoons. Great cartoons. I have a Boston Red Sox jersey, authenticated. Coco Crisp, number 10. His real name was Cavelli Lachitz, L-O-Y-C-E, Crisp. I don't know if he was named after the cereal. He played left and center field, spent 4 years with the Cleveland Indians, and then my Boston Red Flops. He was on the team on the 2007 World Series. Closed out his career with the Royals and the Oakland A's. Do we have time for one or two more? Let's see. Number 1 in 1956, Love Me Tender by Mr. Presley. 1964, one of Motown's best, The Supremes with Baby Love. A song that would make me cry as a kid, The Last Kiss by J. Frank Wilson and the Cavaliers. I wonder if they were from Cleveland. And 1972, Wade, he beat me to it. Number 1, My Ding-a-Ling by Chuck Berry. 1980, Woman in Love by a woman I never liked. People who need. I hated Barbra Streisand. I get in arguments with Lola. I mean, she's a great performer, but I didn't like her. Didn't have to. But yet, I played that song over and over again because people, especially today, need people. It's like I need you out there. Wade, I need you to hit the magic button because we got to take a break. It's the top of the hour. We'll be back with Ray Fittipaldo. I think he just came back from Cleveland. He'll talk about that crazy game played in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, at the lake.
Committing to the goals of the Paris Agreement of keeping global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, it has to be more aggressive. Emissions must be cut faster, they must be cut deeper, and as we heard from the president there, a big part of this is getting significant funding to poorer countries all around the world to help them tackle this issue.
Seeing effects of climate change causing famine, affecting children, ABC's David Muir in Madagascar.
This is entirely climate-driven. They live off the land there, you know, and the World Carbon Project has actually tracked this. Think about this. The people of Madagascar actually contribute to global carbon emissions at this level, 0.01%.
India says it'll reduce greenhouse pollution to net zero by 2070. That's many years after the U.S. and China plan to. A message about the next big step to fight COVID.
Ahead of the CDC's expected recommendation of Pfizer's vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11, CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky has this message for hesitant parents.
Parents should feel comforted, not just that their children will be protected, but that this vaccine has gone through the necessary and rigorous evaluation that ensures the vaccine is safe and highly effective.
Data shows the vaccines are 91% effective in younger children, with no reports of serious safety concerns.
ABC's Elizabeth Schulze in Washington. 19 jurors dismissed so far. The trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, accused of killing 2 people during a Kenosha, Wisconsin protest last year over the police shooting of an unarmed black man. You're listening to ABC News.
Hey team, we landed the contract!
Kayo's web design studio just landed the gig of a lifetime.
It starts next week.
Their staff needs to double before the dream deal becomes a nightmare.
Need front end, back end, a project manager.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Dell Technologies' biggest business sale of the year has arrived. Step up your vision with top tech up to 45% off during their early access Black Friday event. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Plus, get incredible savings on Windows 11 PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping. There's also special financing with Dell Business Credit. Get started by contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
A British banking executive is shown the door after reported ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
The basis for the high-profile exit, a report by the Financial Conduct and the Prudential Regulation Authorities, which examined the way Chief Executive Jes Staley characterized his relationship with Epstein to Barclays when he was Epstein's private banker in his previous job at J.P. Morgan. Details of that report have not been released, and the regulators have refused to comment. While departing, Barclays says Staley will receive a $3.5 million payout in addition to other benefits. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
Americans' viewpoints in the economy might be hitting a sour note, according to one survey.
An Associated Press NORC poll found that just 35% of Americans say the national economy is good, while 65% say it's poor. That's down from September, when 45% felt the economy was in good shape.
ABC's Mark Remillard. President Biden was asked about polls over the weekend and replied that millions of jobs have been added and wages and salaries are higher. The Federal Reserve could possibly roll back some of the stimulus it's been pumping into the economy since the pandemic hit. Central bank's meeting Wednesday. It could announce something about its mass purchasing of bonds or whether interest rates could go up. The U.S. had 119 tornadoes in October, the second most on record, says the National Weather Service. This is ABC News.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
and Doug. And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb.
All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Oh, so close. We were looking for stairs.
Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Two Republican appointees to the Ohio State Board of Education have resigned weeks after they opposed its decision to rescind an anti-racism resolution. ONN's Eric Brown has more.
Board President Laura Kohler of New Albany told reporters that Governor Mike DeWine requested her resignation and that if she hadn't stepped down, Republicans in the state Senate who didn't support the resolution would have had enough votes to remove her. But neither Kohler nor board member Eric Pockler of Worthington mentioned the anti-racism resolution in the resignation letters. The governor's office thanked both for their service. Two new board members were appointed on Friday. Eric Brown, ONN News.
And a community in northwest Ohio has been rattled by police reports of Halloween candy that was tampered with. Tatiana Cash with affiliate station WTOL-TV in Toledo has the details.
Fostoria police posted an image of a dangerous Kit Kat bar on its Facebook page. The department says someone in their community put a sewing needle in the candy and then just handed it out. Luckily, police say that an observant child spotted that object before eating it. The department is urging anyone who received candy in Fostoria on North Union, Summit, and Rock Streets to double-check all of their candy.
Police say 2 candy bars with needles were found. People in Fostoria can take their Halloween candy to the ProMedica Fostoria Community Hospital today from 5 to 7 p.m. to be x-rayed. I'm Daniel Barnett on the Ohio News Network.
Stand by. You're back to live and local programming in moments on the Watchdog.
Save big money on your next project with 11% off everything at Menards. Give your walls a new look with Zinsser Smart Coat. It's an advanced paint and primer in one with ultra smooth coverage, superior adhesion, and exceptional washability. Interior flat paint is 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through November 6th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I am the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your start to the work week. Look for clouds and sunshine, a daytime high in the lower 50s. You'll see the overnight low touching down to about 40 degrees under partly cloudy skies with clouds and sunshine mixing for your Tuesday, highs in the lower 50s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
The rooms were so much colder then. My father was a soldier then, and times were very hard when I was young. When I was young, I smoked my first cigarette at 10. And for girls, I had a bad yen, and I had quite a ball when I was young.
Wade, when I was young, I liked the Twilight Zone and the Outer Limits. Do you remember the Twilight Zone? Well, you didn't watch it.
Yeah, I watched both shows.
Okay, you remember the mannequins that came to life? Even today, when I'm in a store and I see a mannequin, I'm wondering if that mannequin's going to come to life and punch me. Or the eye of the beholder, where ugly people were attractive, good-looking attractive people were ugly. One of the people that played the attractive woman, they took the bandages off her face because she had like 19,000 facelifts, was a beautiful girl who later became a star on the Beverly Hillbillies. Okay? Donna Douglas. How about that? Yeah, I'll go to a store tomorrow or whatever, see a mannequin. I keep thinking a mannequin's going to come after me. I don't know if this guy was old enough to remember the Twilight Zone or the Outer Limits or whatever. Ray, you remember those shows?
In reruns, I do, Bill, but I was not old enough to see them when they were new to television.
All right. Well, you're old enough to remember what you did on Halloween, right? A, what was your favorite candy, is Little Ray, and your costume on Halloween?
My favorite candy when I was a kid, probably just out of nostalgia, because I don't get them anymore. I don't think they make it anymore. Zagnuts and Clark bars.
Oh, I think they make both, don't they?
Or if they do, maybe they're not. You know, you have to special order them.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if you're talking modern day, like what I want to steal from my kids, for me, Mr. Goodbar and Crackle, those are my two that I steal from them as soon as they get home.
You're into nuts, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Goodbar is kind of like, I don't know what that is, rice maybe? But,
Yeah, okay.
It's good. It's good.
That's okay. I always liked the Hershey bar, the Hershey with almonds. I don't know where I was the other day. I was in Ollie's to pick up some books, and I went by the candy stand, so I got like this big bag of Mellow Cups. I opened the bag, and there's no coupon in there, money. But they're real thin. Same with the Reese Cups. The Reese Cups come in like $50 now. I got to eat like 6 of them. It compares to a full Reese Cup. Anything peanut butter I like. I always like to Babe Ruth or Baby Ruth. And what was Henry Aaron's number called? Home. What was the name? It was after his 44. Had lots of nuts.
I don't know. Reggie Jackson had his own candy bar.
Yeah.
I don't remember Hank Aaron though.
You know what I have at home? Wrappers from Danny Marino's chocolate-covered whatever candy bars and a Bubby Brister bar. I saved those wrappers. You want to give me a quarter apiece?
There was also a Mario Lemieux bar, if you remember that.
That's true. Terry Bradshaw peanut butter. I got a full jar of that. The peanut butter, though, has changed color. It's like green now. You know what I mean? Yammer Yager peanut butter. I haven't opened that either. I bet those jars are worth money.
They probably are.
Yeah, okay. All right. A lot has happened since we started on the show. If you can add to it, please, because it would add to the show, because I'm a knucklehead and I can't write everything down. Jamison Winston out for the season. He has a torn ACL and MCL damage. Was that report correct?
Yeah, that is correct. He is done for the season.
Unbelievable. Sad.
We're continuing the theme of quarterbacks going down this year. Also, Derrick Henry. I think he's undergoing an MRI today. He has a broken fifth metatarsal in one of his feet. That's like an 8-week injury, so he's probably done for the year, I guess.
Well, Vrabel, I just had Vrabel on CBS Sports, whatever. He's going to have ankle surgery tomorrow. It could be out 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, so if they make the playoffs, there's a chance that he can come back late in the regular season or the playoffs. So we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, 2 big injuries to two teams with some pretty important players who are trying to get to the playoffs. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think he'll be back then, because I'd like to see 22 play against 22, and that would be Derrick versus Harris. Let's see. Sunday, December 19th, Tennessee will visit the Steelers, 1 o'clock game. How many weeks is that, 8? 1, 2, that's 4. That's almost 8 weeks, right? Yeah.
Are you sure Tennessee's coming to Pittsburgh this year?
I'm looking at their schedule, the Steelers' schedule, Sunday, December 19th versus Tennessee, 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. I think there was something else, too. Oh, Von Miller, who in the past said, I want to retire as a Denver Bronco. Well, maybe he's got a degree in BS. He was just traded to the Rams for a number 2 and a number 3 draft pick next year. I think he's a little bit over the hill, but maybe they could put him in third down or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think he has much left either, but I guess we'll see. He wasn't a bad player in his prime, but I just don't know if he's there much longer.
All right. You know what impressed me? Dan Moore Jr., rookie, right?
Pretty good, huh?
He did a nice job against, number 95. So I didn't appreciate, I don't know, I guess it's all in fun. He walked out as the Grim Reaper, and he had all the quarterbacks on the back of his cape and everything, and, he should have concentrated on having a better game. We didn't see very much of him. And what is it, after every down or something, he has to go to the sidelines? Is he short-winded?
I guess, I wasn't, it seemed like, the Browns were dressing up and like they were treating yesterday as like a Halloween party, and the Steelers just showed up for a football game. So, Myles Garrett's a good player, but to get, to be held to 1 sack and to be really pretty quiet, there weren't a lot of pressures after that sack. Against a rookie left tackle who has struggled this year. That's not a very good showing for Myles Garrett, but hey, maybe you should put more effort into the football game rather than your Halloween costume.
Well, it was Halloween, and the Steelers provided the tricks. Speaking of tricks, forget the fact that the Steelers went in and beat Cleveland. The most video was Josh Boswell.
Yeah, he held on to that ball too long.
Chris Boswell. I know a Josh Boswell. He lives in Maine. Chris Boswell, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen, he held on to the ball too long.
Yep.
Listen, there should have been a penalty on the play. It was
Agree.
Helmet to helmet or helmet to chin, as it were, and then, he was pretty much knocked out, I think, before he hit the ground. So there should have been a penalty on that play. That certainly would have changed the game. But listen, Mike Tomlin took the blame after the game. They didn't execute the play the way it needed to be executed, and he really put his team in a bad situation by not having a place kicker for the second half. So his players bailed him out. Tomlin took it all on his shoulders, so good for him. But hopefully Boswell will be okay for that Monday night game against the Bears. But you know how it is with concussions. We'll have to wait to see how he does throughout the week.
It's hard to believe the Browns, they're in last place at 4-4. The Steelers are 4-3. How about the Bengals losing? Everything seems to be shaping up to a great final 6 or 7 games of the season,
We're sort of at the halfway point, although not yet. I would like to know from Elias, the last time every team in the division was 500 or better at the midway point of the season.
Yeah.
You just don't see that too much anymore. That's not the only division in the NFL that's like that. I think there's another division where every team is 500 or better. Is it going to stay like that all year? Probably not. One of these teams is going to fall back and be under 500, but that just goes to show you how competitive this division is. I don't think there's a great team in this division, Bill, but I think all of them can knock off anyone else every single week. So I think that's going to make the second half of the season really interesting.
And number 78, who might miss a couple of games, Conklin for the Cleveland Browns. I think that was something of a game changer because he was very good on that offensive line, which I thought was going to be the best. So he's going to be out, but Cleveland Nation here, don't worry. He should be okay in 2 to 3 weeks. Elbow, is it an elbow injury?
Yeah, he's got an elbow injury. He had to be carted off. I'm sure in Cleveland, in Ohio this week, they're talking about why didn't Kevin Stefanski kick that field goal?
Yeah.
At the end there, they decided to go for it on 4th and 12.
Yep.
I thought if you kick the field goal and then you hold the Steelers to a 3-and-out, you probably get the ball with like 1:10 to go, and yeah, you don't have any timeouts left. But I just thought their chances would have been better if they kicked that field goal. But hey, we'll never know.
Yeah, I think Baker Mayfield though should have taken the week off. I would have been happy with Case in there. He's a smart guy,
He is, but hey, you're not paying the big bucks to Case Keenum. He's a $5 million a year backup, and Baker's the number 1 overall pick. So
Baker can live on all those commercials. I'm getting tired of seeing him, selling stuff at the stadium and whatever. He's doing progressive now. He's made his money, but I would have said, hey Baker, take a week off. But Baker would have got into a little tizzy. You can't do that to me. Whatever. And I thought the Browns should have stuck to their running game a little bit more. What do you think?
To hold Nick Chubb to 61 yards,
yep.
Great effort by the Steelers, but I agree with you, Bill. I thought Stefanski, once again, he got the better of Tomlin in the playoff game last year. Well, I should say the Browns staff got the better of Tomlin last year in the playoff game. Stefanski wasn't there due to COVID, but I thought Tomlin and his staff thoroughly outcoached Stefanski this week. They got him out of what he wanted to do. Anytime you could take away the team's strength, and we all know the Browns, the best thing they do is run the ball. Anytime you could take that away from them and turn them into a team that has to do something else, you win. And the Steelers did that yesterday, really after the first drive. I thought the Browns had a good first drive. Credit to the Steelers for holding them to a field goal there. After that, I thought the Steelers' defense really handled them. So I thought, Keith Butler and his staff did a really, really good job.
Yeah, he won't get ripped this week, but that's, stay tuned. I can't see any trap games with next 2 home opponents for the Steelers. Lola's Lions and Biff. Biff's our production guy. He's a big Chicago Bears guy. I think those are 2 easy wins, but as we found out yesterday with the Jets, wins don't come easy like they used to.
No, how about that game? The Bengals, everyone's talking about them as, they're the class of the division now after those big wins, and here they go and lose to a really bad New York Jets team and a backup quarterback by the name of Mike White, who I had never heard of before.
Wait a minute, doesn't he write a high school column for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette?
Yeah, how about that? He's busy with the high school coverage, and he's able to quarterback the Jets to a win, too. So.
Yeah, and all he said the pregame or during the week was, you know what, it's my first game. I just want to go out and have fun. Have fun? He stuck it up the Cincinnati Bengals rear ends. That was a great story. Here's another great story. There is a team out there that can beat Tom Brady. It's called the New Orleans Saints. 3 interceptions in his 4 games as a Buccaneer against New Orleans. The Saints are 1-3.
And how about they did it with Trevor Siemian finishing that game after Winston got hurt? I get the idea, Bill, that I know the Packers were 7-1, but I got to see the Packers live against the Steelers. I didn't think they were a great team. I know the Cowboys are 6-1. Is there a great team in the NFL this year that you could just sit back and say, boy, they're definitely going to be, if not in a conference championship game, they're going to be a Super Bowl team.
Yep.
I don't think there's any team like that in the league this year, including the Packers and the Cowboys, who are, I think they're tied for having the best record in the NFL right now.
I know of a good 1-2 punch in the NFL. Ray Fittipaldo and Bill DeFabio.
There you go.
Okay. Foster brothers. Yeah. Let's see. We've been talking about they want to eliminate bullpen, PETA. They want to eliminate the chop. They probably want to eliminate birds. How about buffaloes? Buffalo Bills, they're just almost extinct. Let's see. How about Crusaders? You went to Holy Cross. The Crusaders will always have that nickname?
I hope so. Who does that offend?
I don't know. I'm a terrier, Or we have a shortage of Boston Terriers? I have no idea.
Yeah, I think Crusaders are here to say. I think that's rather
Yeah.
nondescript,
Yeah, okay, all right.
It was 1,000 years ago. I can't even tell you what they did.
Everything's crazy, Ray. Everything's crazy. Well, I think we covered a lot of bases. All these injuries. I mean, this year, and the year's not even, is the season half over? Almost. All these major big names, they're just going down like flies.
Yeah, hey, Bill, it's not always who the best team is. It's who's
the healthiest
at the end of the year, and it might be that way again this year.
Now, the Ravens, did they do something today? Or were they looking for a lineman or a tight end or something?
I don't know. The trade deadline is tomorrow at 4 p.m. I don't know if the Ravens, did anything today. But, the next 24 hours are going to be quite eventful. All these teams trying to shore up some needs. So we'll see what the Steelers do. I know a lot of speculation about Melvin Ingram maybe being dealt, possibly Eric Ebron. But,
by the way, I love that kid from Penn State.
Freiermuth.
Oh, I love him.
Hey, how about Najee Harris? How about that entire rookie class? They're pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, and people said, you can't get those guys. How about, no Najee? Get an offensive lineman. No. These young guys, they keep improving. Hopefully they can stay away from injuries. I know Ben took a couple of hits. I didn't know if he's going to get up. It takes him like an hour to get up on his feet,
That's what happens when you're 39 years old. I thought, there was a ticky-tack roughing the passer penalty on Baker Mayfield. I thought there could have been one or two on Ben, too. But he's so big. They always seem to, swallow the whistle when he's hit. But you throw it on everyone else.
Wade asked a pretty good question on the air. How come you never see Tom Brady hit or flags against the defensive players? Do they just don't want to hurt him, stay away from him? Is that well protected? Because he is the face of the NFL.
Oh, he whines about it, too, when he does get hit, so he does get a lot of calls.
He is a whiner, yeah. You touch him, there goes the flag, because he's Tom Brady.
And if there's not a flag, he's going to let the official know about it.
Yep. And then the official will always say, well, you know what Tom Brady said? Yeah, okay, what? I still like watching him. But you know what? I might have to say the Saints, if they play I almost said Patriots, the Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game, look out, because the Saints own them. They might even host that game,
Who's their quarterback going to be?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question. I like the Saints' defense,
Yeah, they do have a good defense. I'll give them that.
How about the Patriots going out west and beating the Chargers?
I know. Hey, they're pretty impressive the last 2 weeks. What they scored, 50-some last week, and then the Chargers were being talked about as one of the best teams in the league. It's crazy. Hey, Pete Rozelle got his wish. I think we finally have parity. Everyone might finish 9-8 or 8-9 this year, so he's liking what he sees from up above, I think.
As a security guard, I can't really be a reporter, but the one thing I noticed at the Pitt game, they got some national spotlight last week, with their win. They're in the top 20. There wasn't that many people at the stadium, Ray.
I heard about 30, 35,000?
I heard 30 to 32.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
That's half of the stadium.
Yeah.
And this team is 7-1. Well, but I said it before when, they were winning and everything. Somewhere down the line, they're going to lose another one. and they still might lose another one. Virginia's coming up, North Carolina. You never know what happens when you played Syracuse.
Yeah.
So, for a while they were in the top 20, now they're in the top 50, whatever. Another thing, games are too long. College games, baseball games, they're too long. We got to do something about shortening the time. You know what I mean?
How about the Braves? Braves had a 4-0 lead, chance to win it on their home field. They couldn't get it done, Bill. I don't know. Going back to Houston, they might have made it tough on themselves.
Yep. All right. Baseball will soon be over, hopefully.
Well, probably by Wednesday, right? Off day today, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we'll know. Next time we chat, we'll be able to know who the World Series champ is.
Why don't we chat Friday or Monday? Which one do you want?
You pick. Monday's good.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. No, that's not good. I'm off.
All right, we'll do Friday.
I'm off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, I'm taking some time off.
Yeah, we'll do Friday then.
All right. Okay, always great to talk to a Crusader.
All right, Bill. Have a good rest of the week. I'll talk to you.
All right, bye-bye. I tell you what, he does his homework. I can call him 11 o'clock at night. He's still working on his story. Okay? Dedicated employee for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I mentioned Mike White. He's been the high school editor for Western Pennsylvania for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He has been around for like 35, 40 years. And so when the Mike White showed up yesterday on the tube, I said, wow, that can't be the guy I know. And I don't think he has a son named Mike White, But what the Jets did is just, I wasn't surprised. I was a little bit shocked, but you just never know, I do know one thing. Should I bet the house or your house, Wade, that the Lions go 0-17? Should I make a bet with Lola, case of beer?
I think they'll win one.
Yeah. Okay. When she comes back, I'm going to have to give her some razzmatazz. All right. Next two games for the Steelers should be easy games, but nothing's easy in the NFL. The Bears, I'll be rooting for the Bears when they have the offense because a former Steeler has been having a good year. That's tight end, one of the great names in football or any sport, Jesse James. Jesse James just caught a 40-yarder. Whoever the quarterback is for the Bears, I don't know. They're not the old Bears that we watched in the 80s, okay? The Bears. All right, that sums up for this segment. Speaking of the Bears, their big-time fan, he's the president of the Chicago Bears fan club in the Ohio Valley, and I know during the end of the week he'll be wearing his Chicago Bears hat, his Notre Dame shirt. He'll wear something Central Catholic, too. He's a big football fan. I spent some 11 minutes with him talking about local sports.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Caridi. That story coming up on today's Mountaineer Report brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics.
Kroger knows this year the holidays are doubly important, so make your celebrations doubly special with fresh, never frozen, prime grade beef and Simple Truth organic Brussels sprouts. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Double special in this void where prohibited. Certain restrictions. Wait, stop it, legal. We've got even more special holiday food, like delicious king crab legs with private selection gourmet potatoes, or cave-aged Murray's cheese, and fresh baked La Brea bread. Kroger, fresh for everyone. All right, legal. You're up. Double special in this void where prohibited. Certain restrictions may apply. Shop at participating stores for more details. 42 million Americans struggle with hunger, yet 35% of the food in this country is wasted. Those aren't just numbers. They're our neighbors, your daughter's friend from school, the family of 4 next door. The Kroger Company Zero Hunger, Zero Waste Foundation is committed to making fresh food accessible to all by ensuring it never goes to waste. Together, we can help end hunger. Learn more at zerohunger.zerowastefoundation.org.
Before we look ahead to Saturday's game against the Cowboys of Oklahoma State, what do you say we close the book on last Saturday's victory by the Mountaineers over the Cyclones of Iowa State? It was the 10th all-time meeting between the two teams. West Virginia now 6-4 all-time against Iowa State, 3-2 in the games played in Morgantown. That game on Saturday was Neil Brown's 50th career victory as a head coach. It also is the 50th all-time victory for a Mountaineer team over a nationally ranked opponent. West Virginia now 4-0 on the season when they run for at least 100 yards. The Mountaineers eclipsing the 30-point mark, and now WVU is 123-18 since the 2000 season when they score 30 or more points in a game. The Mountaineer offense continuing to show signs of maturation. WV finished up with 492 yards of total offense. That's the second most in the 2021 season. The Mountaineers have now had 400 or more yards on offense in 3 of the last 4 games. Charles Woods and freshman defensive lineman Edward Vestrinen made their first career starts. West Virginia has now had 10 first-time starters this season. Quarterback Jared Deggy, who went 30 of 46 passing, 5th consecutive game he's completed at least 20 passes. And now with 487 career passes as a Mountaineer, he's number 6 in pass attempts. He also threw 3 touchdown passes in the game, ranking him number 10 in program history in touchdown passes with 32. That is today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics. I'm Tony Caridi on the Mountaineer Sports Network from Learfield.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on the Watchdog. I'm John Thayer. Adam Duvall hit a grand slam in the first inning, but the Houston Astros beat the Atlanta Braves last night 9-5 to win Game 5 of the World Series. With the victory, the Astros force a game number 6, and the series will shift back to Houston. Game 6 is tomorrow night. Atlanta leads the series 3-2. If Game 7 is necessary, it would be on Wednesday night in Houston. Alex Bowman won at Martinsville yesterday, while Kyle Busch was second. Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., and William Byron rounded out the top 5. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, and Martin Truex Jr. will race for the championship next week in Phoenix. Download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing. I'm John Thayer with the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on the Watchdog.
It's Macy's Friends and Family with our biggest savings on everything you need to get ready for the holidays. Like an extra 30% off brands that rarely go on sale with your coupon or Macy's card. And take 15% off fragrances, skincare, makeup, and more great beauty gift ideas. Going on now at Macy's. Plus get contact-free curbside pickup or pickup in store today. Details at Macys.com/pickup. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Hi, welcome to Furniture Depot. And you, come on in. Yes.
Couches are flying off the floor at Cheyenne's Furniture Store.
Sarah, can you go over to dining sets, please?
She needs more sales associates before shoppers take their seats elsewhere.
Can somebody get me a price check on trundle beds?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Do you or any of your family members, neighbors, or friends own a property that you just want to be done with it? If so, call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you to take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. Call 614-470-2000. I buy properties as is. Make no repairs. Take what you want and leave the rest behind. We make selling easy. I buy vacant properties, pre-foreclosures, and inherited homes. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorces, death in the family, back taxes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Hi, it's Hoppy Kirchville. Join me weekdays at 10 o'clock for Talkline. We'll talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia, top political figures, sports personalities, sometimes just plain folks offering their opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Minogue.
Babies come with lots of decisions.
Cloth or disposable? Crib or bassinet?
So when it comes to protection, go with the safest, most effective choice, vaccination. Get all the recommended vaccines for your baby by age 2 to protect your child against 14 serious childhood diseases. For more reasons to vaccinate, talk to your child's doctor. Go to cdc.gov/vaccines or call 800-CDC-INFO. A message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
And the Nailers with the most dramatic of victories. 5 seconds left, they score.
Nailers hockey
Hockey is coming back, and so should you. Join us for opening night, Saturday, November 6th. Puck drops at 7:10 at West Banco Arena. Kick the night off with a pregame fan fest with inflatables for all ages, plus postgame autographs. And each fan takes home a magnet schedule. Gotta get back to the excitement of Nailers opening night. Buy your tickets now. Call 304-234-GOLD or go to WheelingNailers.com.
This is Hoppy Kercheval. Join me weekdays at 10 o'clock right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe for Talk Line. I have guests, conversations, texts, phone calls on all the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. So tune in weekdays right here on FM 98.1 and FM 97.7, The Watchdog.
The Eastern world, it is exploding, violence flaring, bullets loading. You're old enough to kill, but not for voting. You don't believe in war, but what's that gun you're toting? And even the Jordan River has bodies floating. But you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Don't you understand what I'm trying to say? Can't you feel the fears I'm feeling today? If the button is pushed, there's no running away. There'll be no one to save with the world in a grave. Take a look around you, boy. It's bound to scare you, boy. And you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction.
Just from the top of my head, and I should Google it, maybe I'll do it tonight. There are a lot of schools, pro, cons, whatever, professional teams with the nicknames involving Native Americans. I forgot because, I think it was Danny that went to the campus of East Stroudsburg. They're called the Warriors. I do know that the University of Hawaii, because I have a friend that went there, they're called the Rainbow Warriors. We got the Chicago Blackhawks, the Florida State Seminoles, Central Michigan Chippewas, and of course there's the Kansas City Chiefs. When I saw Utah in the top 30 in football, I know they're the Utes. And Oklahoma ranked, third or fourth? Their mascot is Little Red. Okay? So we can go down, up and down that list. Whatever. I mean, nobody complained until, a couple years ago about, the Native Americans or whatever. And now when you talk about it, it's like, social media has a lot to do with causing problems, destruction, controversy. We got along without social media, didn't we? Wade, we got along very well without cell phones, didn't we? We communicated a little bit better, huh?
What did we ever do without them?
Yeah. I think of that when I go to restaurants or I see it in a movie, so I go crazy. Yeah. I speak very softly, then I go tell management we're going to have a problem here. Yeah. You don't need to be on your cell phone when you're going to a movie or being at a restaurant. Now, there might be an emergency, if you get a call from the police or the hospital, somebody is sick, but. I was standing in line at a coffee shop this morning. The only coffee shop within 15 miles of my house where you don't have to go through drive-through. I'm standing, it was a 7-Eleven, not the one down the street. I'm behind this lady, and the girl behind the cashier said, "What is it you want, ma'am?" I think she won lottery tickets. She's talking to her girlfriend, and I can hear the every word in her conversation. I'm standing behind her. You know what I should do? You know how to stop that? Let out some gas. There you go. They'll be off your cell phone right away.
You clear out the store, Bill.
Yeah, and a restaurant. Seriously, I have a problem with all that. Walking down the street, you run into somebody, they're on their cell phone. Driving, I see truckers coming down Cabela's Hill. They're driving. They're zigzagging, they're on their cell phone. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the boss is tracking their mileage. Oh, boy. It's a crazy, wonderful, wacky world we live in, and this is the crazy, wonderful, wacky world of sports. Biff Leonard and I, we get in a lot of wacky conversations, okay, especially when he likes to talk about Notre Dame and I don't. We put together this little segment, about 10 minutes, to make sure all of our butts are covered about what's happening with the local sports teams. We're going to start with the pros, college, and then high school, okay? So we think we got all the bases covered. That's a wrong segue. But let's take it away, Wade. Hit that magic button for what we talked about before the show. I'm here with Biff Leonard. Of course, Biff is the Ohio Valley #1 fan of the Chicago Bears. So I'm going to ask you, you're not going to watch the Bears and the Steelers Monday night, are you, at Heinz Field?
Sadly, Bill, I think might be watching that game, yes.
Okay. I'll be watching because that's part of my job, but there's a former Steeler and Penn Stater on that team, Jesse James.
Yeah, he had a couple catches in the Bears loss against the 49ers yesterday, and nice to see him get involved there, and I'm sure the welcome back in Pittsburgh on Monday and for the game, and we'll see what happens.
All right. It'd be interesting. You never know, especially with a young rookie quarterback who didn't play that poorly this past weekend against San Francisco.
No, and unfortunately, the defense didn't play well again. So it's the Bears have been on a tough stretch of 5 games here lately, and I think it'll end Monday night at Pittsburgh.
Then the following week, poor Lola's Lions come in to visit the Steelers. They're 0 forever.
And I think, jokingly, yesterday, my dad looked at me and he said, "You know when the Lions will get their first win, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, when they play the Bears."
Oh, yeah, I
So-
forgot about that. All right, let's go to college football and then high school football. A nice weekend for West Virginia. They beat Iowa State, ranked 22 in the country. This morning, they're out of the top 25. Big win for West Virginia.
Big win, top 25 win for West Virginia, especially coming off the win that Iowa State had the previous week against Oklahoma State. Went into Morgantown on Saturday, and West Virginia got a big top 25 win.
All right, Buckeye Nation, we know what that's all about. At home, they beat Penn State. Interesting game. Is Ohio State still in maybe the running to win the Big Ten because Michigan lost, okay?
Yeah, and the Michigan State game, a lot of talk after about the Big Ten officiating.
Yeah.
The one replay that got overturned, which was, that was just awful. I don't know. I still don't know how they overturned that one. But, yeah, Ohio State, that was a back-and-forth game they had against Penn State, and a good win for the Buckeyes.
What's their situation as far as trying to win their part of the Big Ten?
You have to look at who Ohio State, obviously, they've got the game against Michigan at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Coming up, they've got Nebraska. They play Nebraska at Nebraska.
That can be a trap game.
On noon, or Saturday at noon.
Yep.
So, and I don't know who else Ohio State has left. I think they have 1 or 2 games left. But basically just take care of business. And the way the Big Ten is with everybody now playing each other, they're going to be jockeying. You've got teams with 1 loss that hopefully want to keep that 1 loss and not get 2. And it'll be interesting tomorrow night because the first of the college football playoff rankings will come out tomorrow night. So we'll see where the Big Ten, how many teams they have in there and where everybody else is tomorrow night.
And I think Jim Harbaugh is 0 for 9 going up against top 10 teams. If he doesn't beat Ohio State this year, you think it's time for maybe the officials at Michigan to say, "See you later, Jim"?
I think they have to look at it, but I think they're going to keep him, even though everybody, the fans, and get on the message boards and social media and everything. They'll be going crazy like they do every year. We got to get rid of him. We got to get rid of him. But
he's a hell of a recruiter,
and that's why I think they'll keep him.
Yeah.
That's what you need. You need somebody that can recruit, and that's what he does.
All right, let's talk about West Virginia and Ohio football. Is this the last week for West Virginia?
Yes, this week is the last week for regular season in West Virginia.
Who needs big wins or big-time numbers? Points.
We've got Wheeling Park. They lost by 2 to Parkersburg South, 26-24. And when the official rankings come out tomorrow afternoon, look for Wheeling Park to be on the outside looking in. They're probably going to be around 19 or 20. Wheeling Park plays John Marshall Friday night. Wheeling Park will need a win, and they're probably going to need some help to get into the playoffs. John Marshall right now, when the rankings come out tomorrow, look for them to be right around 12 or 13.
Okay.
So a bigger game for Wheeling Park because they're probably going to need help, but...
Does John Marshall need to win?
I would say no, but it would be probably in their best interest if they do win.
Okay. All right. What about your old school, Wheeling Central?
They actually had a bye week on Friday, but they did get some help. They got a couple bonus points with Man, our friends from Man, the Hillbillies.
That's their nickname.
That
right?
is their nickname, yes.
Oh boy. Hey, where'd you go to school? Man. Oh, you're a hillbilly. Hey, how'd you know?
So they got help there, and then Weirton actually beat Brook on Friday night, which gave Wheeling Central another bonus point.
Was that an upset? Because Brook's pretty good, right?
Brook is pretty good. That's a double A beating a triple A. I wouldn't call it an upset. The score, though, 29-6, was surprising. I'll say that.
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay.
Wheeling Central, look for them tomorrow to be in the around 8 or 9. So if they end up at 8, they're going to get a home game. If they're 9, they're going to go on the road.
Okay.
So, and they actually play Oak Glen Friday night. So Wheeling Central is in no matter if they win or lose. They're just going to be playing for positioning.
All right. What if they win? Home game?
If they win, I would likely think a home game, but again, depending on who else still plays and everything. Look for Central, if I had to guess, to be, again, 8 or 9 tomorrow, and then depending on what happens, they're going to be anywhere between 8 and as far down as 13. That's your worst case scenario.
Okay. What about Shadyside in Ohio?
Shadyside in Ohio, they had no trouble Saturday night. They beat Fairfield Christian Academy 38-9. Shadyside's defense played well. The only score, Fairfield Christian late in the game kept their starters in. Shadyside had their second team defense in.
Okay.
So their touchdown came against Shadyside's second team defense.
What about the home field advantage for the next couple of weeks? Can they have more than one home game?
Shadyside will have a home game this Saturday. They play Waterford.
Waterford.
Is their opponent.
Is that Waterford Park?
No, not Waterford Park. It's a different Waterford.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to look at that because I'm not sure
That's
where
like
that is.
Shadyside. When I came here years ago, I thought you were playing Shadyside out of Pittsburgh, but there's a Shadyside.
Yeah. So, and the other part of that side of the bracket where Shadyside is on, you have River going on the road to play Byrne Union. That's who River plays. So River would need to upset Byrne Union. Shadyside would need to win to get a home game. Now, those two played in the regular season, Shadyside and River. That could be a rematch, but River's going to have a hard time, I think, with Byrne Union. So if Shadyside wins and Byrne Union win on Saturday night, Shadyside will have to go on the road.
Where's Byrne Union?
Byrne Union is, let me see. I think I know the town, but I'm not sure exactly. Here you go. Sugar Grove.
Okay, where's that?
I have to look that up because I don't know where Sugar Grove is.
That's a town, Sugar Grove?
Yes, Sugar Grove is a town. That's where Byrne Union is from.
Okay,
so.
all right. We'll take care of that down the road.
Yes.
I think we've touched all bases. So can you repeat everything we just talked about? No. Hey, thanks for joining us this afternoon, Biff.
Anytime, Bill. You're welcome.
We didn't talk about Notre Dame?
No, we didn't.
Are they in the top 10 yet?
Yes, they are. They are number 8. They moved up a couple spots. And if I had to guess, when the playoff rankings come out tomorrow, look for them to be right around 8 or 9.
And it looks like they could be playing on New Year's Day.
I would much rather see them play a New Year's Day game than getting that semifinal mess there, because good luck figuring that out. Start at Georgia because they're going to be number 1.
Yep.
Good luck numbering 2 through 4 tomorrow night. That's one job I'm glad I don't have.
Yeah.
Let everybody else fight about it, and they can figure it out. But it's nice for us because it gives us something to talk about.
And
and
don't you
argue
think it
over.
should be 8 teams instead of 4?
I would think expand it to 8.
Yeah.
That's
more good
why do that?
football, more money.
How about this? college football, good job extending to 8. Ohio playoffs, not good extending to 16. Should have kept it at 8.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, that's just too much, but whatever. It's more kids playing football, right?
More money.
Well, yeah, it all comes down to that, huh? Biff Leonard, Mr. Chicago Bear, Mr. Detroit Red Wing. They're not playing bad hockey, by the way.
They're playing good right now.
And Mr. Wheeling Central. What do we forget? Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yes.
What else do you own? How many hats?
I got
Wheeling Naylor hat. Hey, how about that win the other night?
Was that something, that comeback?
Yeah, that's
from
unbelievable.
From thinking that with 2 minutes left in the second period, you're not going to finish because of ice problems to a 4-goal third period and get the win 6-5. And they finished that 4-game road trip at 500, 2-2.
And DJ and Army will be our guests tomorrow, okay?
Oh, that'll be fun. Those guys they're fun to talk to.
Yeah, especially when I ask Army how the Yankees are doing. Thank you, Biff.
You're welcome, Bill.
We'll be right back. Yeah, we're right back here. Chuck has been on hold for a while, and I think I'll agree with him when we talk about Ohio, 16 teams, 8 from 16. Chuck, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Yep.
Where are you, in a cave?
No, I'm in my car.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Barely, but go ahead. I can understand you, so I hope the listener can.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, there's an 0-10 team that's in the playoffs. I mean, that's hideous. You know it's all about money, Billy. That's all.
0-10? There's an 0-10 team in postseason?
Yeah, exactly.
How'd that happen?
I don't know, but the team, my granddaughter's a cheerleader, and the team that she cheers for, they got in the playoffs. They go to the number 1 seed. Okay.
There's something wrong
there. They were getting beat 49-0 at halftime. Ended up getting beat 59-0 and never played the last quarter. How hideous is that?
How'd they get in? There had to be somebody in their conference or division that had at least.
Yeah, they said anybody wants it can get in, I guess.
I don't know. Okay.
How's an 0-10 team get in?
I have no idea. It's all crazy. Hey, we have it crazy in the WPIL. It used to be like 4 divisions: A, AA, AAA,
right.
4A, whatever. Now there's like 6 A's. I mean, it's all confusing. You could have a bad season, a losing season. Guess what? You can get into the playoffs. Hey, we got to run because I'm fighting with the clock. Keep in touch, Chuck.
All right, Billy.
All right.
Okay.
How does that happen, Wade? An 0-10 team getting into postseason.
I've never heard of that happening.
Okay. All right. Maybe that's a trick-or-treat line from Chuck. Yeah. But whatever, I have to check on that. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll have some closing comments.
Hi, it's Howard Monroe. When you join Brad Leonard and me weekday mornings from 7 to 10 for the Watchdog Morning Show, we'll have all the top stories of the day. We'll go behind the scenes.